who live down the street from one another during their time in Athens shake hands at the middle of the field. Arkansas enjoying the spoils today as they defeat South Carolina by a final of 44-30. The Hogs are 2-0.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So I think the words tough and physical are overused sometimes in football. Broadcasters will just kind of go back if they're looking for a term or looking for something like that. And frankly, some teams are just soft. But in the case of the 22 Arkansas football team, you can use those words as much as you want. Grounded and pounded South Carolina into oblivion on Saturday. And boy, it was pretty as we get rolling on Hot Take Monday, Tommy.
Yeah, and Hot Take Monday always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and the absolute most when you bring in your trade-in to Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. You know, this game was weird. At times you felt like the Hogs were dominating, and there was, really not much of a threat. Then you look up, and it's, 21-15 or whatever at one point, 21-16, whatever that was. There was just kind of two periods in that ball game in the early third or late second, early third, and then again in the fourth quarter where, South Carolina was able to tighten it up to a one-possession ball game. You never could get totally comfortable there till the end and really after that final safety.
We can't miss that, 51-yard field goal or 50-yard field goal, something like that. Landers dropped a touchdown. So there were points in the game where you thought Arkansas was going to put it away. You also did not convert. You converted a couple 4th and 1s, but there was one that you did not convert, and South Carolina got the ball back in their territory. So there were some times where Arkansas looked like they were just going to blow them out, especially after how the first 3 drives started where South Carolina could not do anything with them. And Shane Beamer, for the most part, could only look on and watch in despair as you, as a football team, just creamed them up and down all day long. And I know in college football, sack yards subtract from the rushing totals. Really, you went over 300 yards, if not for the loss of yardage that KJ Jefferson got sacked a few times. But I mean, you're 1-0 in conference, you're 2-0 on the season, and your offense is starting to get rolling. You started to see a little more Kendall Briles open up the playbook. I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday, who looked really good without Tyreek Hill playing the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm seeing variations that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy use. And if I had to guess, we're probably going to see some sort of comparison with Kendall because he pulled out some stops on Saturday, and I think he's just getting rolling.
Had a few more end arounds with the wide receivers, put the ball in their hands running it, with Landers and Hazelwood a bit. So there were a few wrinkles. I thought defensively was where I noticed maybe the bigger leap this week, even without Slusher and Catalan. I know we're going to talk about Catalan. He's lost for the season. Slusher should be back this week. They were able to get pressure nearly, not every, but 95% of the plays, if you charted them, I guarantee had 3 down linemen. Then they would occasionally bring pressure from a linebacker spot, or they'd step 2 people up in the gaps but not put their hand down and then maybe drop one, send one. They disguised their looks up a bit. But point being, they were able to get pressure with 3 a lot of the time. They ended up with 6 sacks in the ball game. I think 2 of those came really late after the game was more or less decided in the last couple of minutes of the ball game. But the point is, Spencer Rattler was hurried, and he was rattled all day long. He never knew where it was coming from, and that he never got comfortable, which is exactly what you want as a defensive coordinator.
Drew Sanders had 2. One was a strip sack, and the other he got Rattler closer to the sidelines. At the end of the second quarter, they got him out of bounds. I think that one might have been bumper pull. Maybe it was Drew Sanders, but yeah, he was hurried all day. Did make some plays, did make some throws. Got to give him credit there. But your defense stepped up, and you're starting to see the chemistry after 2 games develop between Drew Sanders and Bumper Pool. I'll tell you what, and I mentioned this, and I asked Chuck about it, and Chuck agreed with me. Christopher Pujols, who's the son of a coach, played really good. Had a forced fumble. So it was that weird sequence where Tommy Sanders hit the ball out of Rattler's hands. He recovered it somehow, and then Paul hit him again, fumbled again. They forced either 5 or 6 fumbles in this football game. I really liked what I saw from backup linebacker Chris Paul as well.
Yeah, stat sheet says 4, but and Sanders had 2 of those, and Brini had 1. Johnson had 1, but it seemed like they did put the ball on the ground a lot and could have recovered and probably made this game a little less interesting in the fourth quarter than what it was. But it never really felt like in this game South Carolina was going to win. But then you look up at the scoreboard, and they're one play away from either taking the lead in some cases. So Arkansas had moments where it wasn't very comfortable, and they opened up with 3 straight scores to start the game as far as series. They scored on their first 3 series. Then you have, I guess it was early third quarter when Matt Landers was wide open, going to walk in for a touchdown. The ball comes over his shoulder. Now, you or I probably can't make that catch going over our shoulder on the run, but he's a top-shelf wide receiver at this level. That's a catch he has to make, should have made. And in a bigger ball game, when it's, maybe you're down 3 or you're down 5 or whatever, that's a catch that will lose you the ball game somewhere down the road if you don't make it.
And there's been a lot of positives to this point, and deservedly so. Through 2 games, you've looked really good. But that is something Coach Pittman wants to clean up. They're 126th out of 131 teams in penalties. 126 out of 131 teams. You're not going to beat Alabama. You might not beat A&M. I know they just lost this weekend. If you continue on that trajectory, that's something they have to clean up. The drop that you mentioned, KJ was 8. He started out 10 for 10. He's 18 for 31. It should have been 19, like you said. Landers catches that ball. KJ is just looking really good. And one of the unique plays during that game is they rolled out kind of what looked to be a spread option to the right, and then KJ dropped back and passed, and Warren Thompson is just sitting there by himself in the back of the end zone. It is really, really difficult to game plan against this Arkansas football team right now. And the way they keep rolling, I just think they're going to get better and better, and that's going to make it even harder for the likes of some of these DCs in the SEC to try and figure out what Kendall Briles and company are trying to do. Offense got challenged, and they came through. It's what Dalton Wagner said this week.
Coach Pitt, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? Pretty much called out the O-line and D-line, said the game's on our backs. The game will be won in the trenches by us. And O-line took it really personally this week to make sure we can run the ball. Talked all week about spots because they're going to try to give us some exotic looks, run the safeties down, try to fit some runs a little weird. We were prepared for it. Everything we've seen, we were prepared for it.
I'd say they did that, Tom.
Well, when you look at the game, and I was at the game, and a little harder to see sometime unless you just got the perfect angle, on run plays where they were not pass blocking, they were blowing South Carolina's defensive line off the ball 2 and 3 yards. All the running backs or KJ had to do was just follow those guys because you were going to get 3 or 4 yards. And then Rocket is just so good, even when he meets resistance, kind of stopping, moving to his left, moving to his right, and finding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards more. He just really has good vision about it. You just watch him redirect himself at first contact. It's really unbelievable. But, yeah, when you have a 300, we'll just call it a 300-yard game. I know it netted down to 295. This offensive line was really impressive on Saturday.
Back-to-back 100-plus yard performances for Rocket Sanders. No Dominique Johnson on Saturday. Curious if he plays against Bobby Petrino in Missouri State. A.J. Green, Rashad Dominion got his first touchdown, which was cool to see. A lot of people were punching in the end zone. And, again, all Shane Beamer could do was just pout on the sidelines because his team couldn't stop you at all.
Hot Take Monday on the Morning Rush. Chuck Barrett coming up in about 20 minutes, so hang around for that. We'll take your calls and text. We're brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is their number. They're the place that you can get your tailgater system. The Tailgater, what's that? Well, it's the easy-to-use portable satellite system. We got a 6 o'clock kick this week. You need to be ready for all-day tailgating, and you can get it with World of Wireless. What you need to do is go by and see them at the corner of Church Street and Highway 22 in Barling, right at the light, right next door to Frank Rowe Furniture, or call them at 877-305-DISH. They have a few available for rental for this weekend. They've got them for sale and ready to go where you can take TV on the go. 877-305-DISH.
All right, Chuck's going to join us coming up. Let's talk Drew Sanders next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Hot temps, hot peppers, hot Cheetos. They're not the only thing that's hot right now. This month, the deal for you at Leaf Guard of Arkansas.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
800-542-7866.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Put a man in motion. They give it to the tailback, A.J. Green, and that's a touchdown. And the Razorbacks have put another one on the board. The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Episode 5 is out as of this morning. When you get done with the morning rush, pop it in your iTunes, your Spotify, or wherever you listen. Chuck did a really good job recapping the game as of yesterday. Tommy, thank goodness for Alabama and Drew Sanders. I don't know how many times you've thanked the Crimson Tide and Nick Saban, but, man, they let one get away. We're going to talk about him in just a sec.
You don't want this one to get away from you here at Arkansas. We'll talk about Drew Sanders. We're brought to you by the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher from Pradco, the go-to lure for Jason Christie. He's the 22 Bassmaster Classic champion. The Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher is the smaller version of the Pop and Pad Crasher, and it's the bait you can use all summer long. We're still warm enough right now. You can use it on the Arkansas River for frog fishing. If you like doing that, the Pop and Pad Crasher Jr. is the right setup, has the right hook setup to help you catch them. Find it at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. It's the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Jr. from Pradco.
All right, I want to update everyone this morning. If you want to give reaction on this show, you can do it via call at 877-377-6963. You can also comment on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Our text line is down for the morning, so that's the only way that you can react with us, that we're not ignoring you, I promise. But if you want to get on the show, you can do that via call or via comment on our social media.
We need to roll a quarters. We need to pump some quarters in the text machine to keep it going. What's the deal?
I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know. Let's go to Russellville. Welcome in Jared. Jared, your thoughts on the 44-30 victory for Arkansas this morning, man?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Awesome. Hey, so you said you want to talk about Drew Sanders in the last as you finished the last segment. That guy is like a cannon, man. He pulled up the quarterback about as good as I've ever seen anybody do that on Saturday, and he was just everyone on the field. It's been a long time since I've seen linebacker play that we were watching this year for the Razorbacks, and it's a joy to watch him and Bumper both get recognized the way they deserve to the first 2 weeks of the season. And I really appreciate their hard work, and I'm glad they're Razorbacks, and I'll hang up and listen. God bless y'all.
Hey, Jared, appreciate the call this morning, buddy. So Drew's a pretty quiet guy. Go back and listen to him, Simeon Blair, and Latavius Brenny in the post-game press conference. He doesn't say much when asked a question. He's kind of like Rocket Sanders. They just kind of go about doing their business. They get asked a question. It's a couple-word answers. But, man, Sam Pittman, guys, he was more than okay to talk about the Alabama transfer.
He's getting better each week because he's understanding, he's turning it loose a little bit more. And if you see today versus when he first came in the spring, you'd think you had two totally different people. But he's a really good player and a great kid, and I'm glad he had a good game today.
Also got named the National Defensive Player of the Week by the Walter Camp Foundation, Tommy.
His ability to play sideline to sideline and get from wherever he's aligned pre-snap and contain the edge is unbelievable. There was a play early in the ball game, first handful of plays that the Arkansas defense was out there, and it seemed like South Carolina was going to go around the end and get 4, 5, 6, kind of routine yards, if you will. And there's number 42, just bam. I mean, kind of like out of nowhere, like a thief in the night, bam, right on top of you, and just steals the yards they were going to have. So his speed is the number one asset he's got, because he just seems to come from, nowhere near the play to making the play because of the way he can move left to right, right to left. It's incredible.
I went back and rewatched the game yesterday. What you're talking about is the 3rd and 5 in the first quarter where South Carolina's driving, and then Drew, as you said, kind of shoots out of a cannon and ends up breaking up the pass. He had several sideline-to-sideline plays, had a sack on Spencer Rattler, had some plays where he just came out of nowhere. We talked about the strip a little bit earlier. The guy just has a knack for making winning football plays. I'm watching Dallas Turner for the Alabama Crimson Tide at 11 o'clock. I've got the perfect setup. I've got Texas and Alabama on one TV, Arkansas and South Carolina on the other. I've muted both, and I'm listening to Chuck, Quinn, and Gino on the radio that I've got in our living room. And I'm understanding why Dallas Turner's playing because he's a heck of a football player. But thank you for the gift, Alabama. Drew Sanders, man, oh man, we're glad to have you, buddy.
Well, and Alabama would be in the same situation, I believe, that Arkansas was in last year with 3 starting linebackers for a couple of spots if Sanders had stayed there. Is he the All-American that Anderson is? May prove to be before the year's over. I mean, he's so far through 2 games, and it's way early in the year, but proven to be on that level. So I think he'd be playing even with Anderson and Turner there if he had stayed at Bama. So thank you, Alabama, for developing this guy and then him coming to another level at Arkansas, because he's going to be maybe the best player you've ever had out of the portal in its short life cycle.
Text in from Randy saying Sanders and Bumper playing tremendous. He witched back and watched the game, and Christopher Pujols is going to be a good one too. Yeah, that's what I brought up earlier. I love watching Christopher Pujols play. He's getting in, making some hits. Had a couple bone-jarring hits during the football game. He's going to bring it. He's just he's either a redshirt freshman or he's a true sophomore, one of the two. But yeah, I really liked what I saw from Chris Paul in this game as well. Your defense, though, overall looked pretty good at times. Now, there were some breakdowns. That 3rd and 17 long touchdown, that's something you do not want to see. You're going up against the Heisman Trophy winner from last year in 3 games. I don't know what Missouri State's offering up at the quarterback position. You go up against Will Rogers and Mississippi State later on in the season. There'll be some decent quarterbacks that you have to play, and I think the defense, as they continue to figure out the situation without Jalen Catalon, who, if you haven't heard, Sam Pittman announced yesterday, is officially out for the season. Miles Slusher said looks like he's going to be back this week. We'll have to wait to see if we get an update from Coach Pittman later on today or when he speaks with the press on Wednesday. But that's kind of what your secondary looks like. But I was proud of, at points, how they played. I mean, Nudie got another pick. You had some plays where Rattler was getting pressure, and they made some pass breakups. I like what the defense did on Saturday.
Oh, your heart just breaks for Catalon, and I'm sure they've known this news for since probably Sunday of last week after the MRIs or CAT scans or whatever they did to confirm that he's going to need shoulder surgery again. That's just that's heartbreaking for him to have to go through that. It sounded like from the way he talked, though. In fact, he was almost wanting to confirm that Slusher was going to play this week. So look for him to be back. All right, Chuck, coming up in a few minutes. We are brought to you this morning by Farm Credit. If you farm, you got enough to worry about without worrying about the rising cost of interest and what it will do to your variable or balloon interest rates and how it affects your payments. Interest rates are going up. They're going to keep going up for a while to stamp down this inflation a little bit. But you can get a long-term fixed rate right now from Farm Credit. And, hey, if rates come back down, you can refinance down the road. Farm Credit has the longest terms in the agricultural industry. Long-term fixed rates means peace of mind in these changing times. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com for Farm Credit, an equal housing lender.
Chuck's going to join us next, get his thoughts on the 44-30 victory over the Gamecocks.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts!
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
The 10 is up, and the big fall hunting and fishing 4-day sale starts this Wednesday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Check out the savings on fall hunting and fishing gear under the tent and throughout the store. Everything you need to make this fall one to remember. Get ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Don't miss it this Wednesday through Saturday. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
New construction and business remodeling is great, but it leaves a big mess, and job site cleanup is the final touch for any commercial construction or renovation project. When you need to put the finishing touch on your project, call your local Service Master Clean. From post-construction cleanup to everyday janitorial services, no job is too big or small. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087, or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I think Kendall Briles does an all-world job at putting KJ in position to make the throws that he can make. But the reason all that works is because we run the ball.
I'd say what Chuck just said in that clip is spot on. KJ Jefferson, 18 of 21. Really should have been 19 of 21 if Landers catches that pass. Was precise, on point. He ran the football down their throats, and Tommy, they couldn't do anything to stop you on Saturday.
All right, there's no question. I mean, in Arkansas, when you run the ball like that, you're going to win a lot of ball games. Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance are all there for you, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Morning, Chuck.
Morning, guys. What a football weekend.
Not just for Arkansas, as we were kind of talking about during the break. Texas goes toe-to-toe with Alabama. Notre Dame falls. You had news with the Dallas Cowboys last night.
All the teams the team you love won, Chuck, and all the teams you hate lost. It was great.
Well, I was thinking about all the things that we had to talk about today, and I'm going through the list, and we're going to talk about the Razorbacks. And, it was just it was that kind of weekend. It was that kind of Saturday. I think that you're right, Tommy. A lot of the teams that we wanted to get beat got beat, and there were upsets, and 3 of the top 10 teams went down. And I think the thing that made it kind of neat was it was not a weekend where we thought we'd see upsets. It was not one of those weekends that you thought, this is a weekend where we're primed to have a bunch of upsets, and then lo and behold, by the end of the day, 3 top 10 teams have lost.
Buddy of mine, we were driving up the hill to the game, and we were just talking about that Texas-Alabama game. He goes, and he was obviously spot on with what he said about Chester. So driving up 49 is, the whole world's going one way with this Alabama-Texas game. He said we ought to put some money down and take the horns and the points. And I'm like,
I bet a lot of people did. I bet a lot.
And he's
just
right.
On principle.
The whole world went one way,
just on principle, you see all those points. Somebody should have gone the other way. Yeah, I think that was a huge surprise. I wonder how many people watching our game during the commercials went over to the Alabama-Texas game, and maybe a time or two didn't make it back in time for the first play of our game, because I think that it was just that kind of Saturday. And hey, that's what those TV guys want. They want you flipping back, or they prefer you not flip to the other channel, but they want you watching so much TV that everybody gets some eyeballs on their game. And I just thought Saturday was a good day for college football, right up to the end of the night.
I thought the hire Steve Sarkisian made of Gary Patterson was on display on Saturday. I thought that defense came to play. Offense didn't. Once they lost Ears, they just didn't have anything clicking. Card did his best, but we saw it last year. He wasn't ready for the moment in Fayetteville last year, and he just didn't look like he was ready for the moment against Alabama.
I thought that game was about Alabama. Now, and I'm not taking anything away from Texas's effort, but I went back and watched that yesterday. Alabama just shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. We as fans, we all have a habit. We all have a habit of saying, well, if we do that against so-and-so, we're going to get beat. If we do that against these guys, we're going to get beat. Well, first off, that's a separate game, and it doesn't have anything to do with what's happening today. But I heard a lot of our fans after the first game that, South Carolina's going to beat us if we do that. My point is, in Tuscaloosa today, they're saying if we keep doing that, Arkansas is going to beat us here in a couple of weeks, or we're going to get beat next week. Alabama was penalized. Alabama made a lot of mistakes. Alabama played a very un-Alabama-like game. I thought that was the story. Take nothing away from Texas. They did lose. They did not win the game. They lost, and they missed opportunities to win. But I thought that Alabama played in a way that I've not seen Alabama play in a long time. I don't know if it's a sign of things to come or not. We'll find out. He tends to get these things corrected. But Alabama did not play an Alabama-like game.
15 penalties. That's a season's worth.
What's the most ever in the Saban Tuscaloosa era?
I know, but that's a season's worth in conference games for those guys. Saban will get that cleaned up.
Will Anderson even had one, like a roughing roughing he just hit a running back after he fell down, and Saban's just kind of looking at him. It's like, what are you doing, man? You're an All-American. You don't make those bonehead mistakes. But Yeah, Alabama, I would guess, is probably not going to have those type of mental miscues when they come to Fayetteville.
I think and y'all watched it probably with closer detail than I. Even the play where Quinn Ewers got injured and hurt his clavicle, I think there was a roughing flag on that play, wasn't there?
I believe that's correct. Yeah,
and I think it's on Anderson.
I think Turner. It's like that NFL rule where you land your full body weight on him or whatever. I think that's what they called that. At
one
that point.
thing that one thing we're going to learn again this year, we're going to relearn it again this year, is that if you base your opinion on what's going to happen next Saturday or what happened this past Saturday, you can lose your house. I mean, every week is different. Every week is different. Every game is different. These things that we all, again, say that if they do this, if they do this, if they do that, you don't know what they're going to do because every week is different. Alabama could play next week and get 1 penalty. And the week after that, they could get 10. Every game's different.
When you say that, it makes me think about the disclaimer that comes up when these stockbrokers advertise past performance does not indicate.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly
right.
What you're saying there.
That's exactly right. Past performance doesn't dictate anything.
Exactly.
And that's how college football works. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you, UL Monroe's in for some this week. The last non-conference team, by the way, to beat Bama. The 54. It was a 53-game streak that moved to 54. Was a point away from being lost by Nick Saban.
Well, give Texas credit for competing. And, I mean, you talked about it a minute ago. The whole world was against him. It was perfect for Sark. I mean, can you not – I mean, any good coach that has any kind of verbal skill, when the whole world's against you, you ought to be able to give a heck of a pregame talk, and I would imagine he did.
Yeah. Hey, before we take some calls, we got a few racked up here. Just your first thoughts or first takes you want to have on the game Saturday where Arkansas, ends up winning by 2 touchdowns, but that game kind of went back and forth, it felt to me, Chuck, with you thought you were comfortable, then it'd tighten up. Then you'd get a little more of a lead, and it'd tighten back up.
I think we're going to see some games like that this year. I never felt like South Carolina was going to win the game,
No.
And here's why. And let's go back to maintaining control of the game. It starts with the offensive line. 295 yards to 40. That's the story. That's the story of the ball game, and that's how you win. And that's when that allows you, even when the other side hits some big plays, that allows you to run the football, maintain order, and that's what they were able to do.
As Tommy said, we are racked up with calls, so let's take some starting in South Arkansas, going to Camden. Charlie, your thoughts on Arkansas's performance Saturday?
Oh, man, what a game. I'll check it. I was one of those guys that was flipping back and forth between Arkansas, South Carolina, and Alabama, Texas. I'll tell you what, I do feel a little, and I hate to even say this because I hate Texas, but I do feel a little sorry for them because I felt like, no offense to, Alabama, they might have had 15 penalties, but they probably should have had almost 20 because there were some calls, and I know there are always calls that are missed in a game, but there was some horrible calls missed on Alabama in that game that might have, changed the outcome of the game. And I think it just always comes back to, I've always felt like Alabama has gotten some breaks when they've needed to in close games. I'm not even going to go there with that this morning. I'm just going to comment on Arkansas. I thought, listen, I know everybody's a little bit worried about, the vertical passing game, and that's fine. But, like Ty said, if Matt Landers makes that catch, I mean, might have a little bit of a different conversation. I think teams they're not coming down and, if you're going to run for 5 yards per carry or whatever Arkansas is averaging right now, I'm not going to stop running the ball either. And until a team says, you know what, we're going to load the box and we're going to stop you from running the football and make these guys on the out and come up, and they're playing so far off our wide receivers. I think people need to understand, I'm watching these plays. They're like 10 yards off of these guys on a lot of plays. So it's kind of hard to throw the ball over the top when they're playing you like that. And the one time they did challenge you, KJ changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and he took a shot and hit the guy right in the hand. So, he's going to score on that play. Nobody's there. So, I know people are a little worried about this vertical game, but, until somebody says, you know what, we're going to load up, we're going to stop the run and, make you throw the ball down the field, then I say you keep doing what you're doing. It's working. That's how we play. So, anyways, guys, I think the defense is going to continue to get better. I'm glad that what's his name, Miles Fletcher, is okay, and Drew Sanders is everything as advertised. He's going to continue to get better, and hey, we're headed in the right direction.
You know, here was my take coming away, guys, big picture, and I like what Charlie has to say there, and I'm going to use that to kind of say what I'm saying here. Did you watch anybody this weekend that scared you? If you're a Razorback fan, did you watch anybody this weekend that you thought, we can't beat those guys? Not a single one of them. I'm going to tell you who scared me more than anybody this weekend was BYU. Yes, that's who scared me more than anybody. There's nobody on this schedule we can't beat. Now, that's not saying we're going to win them all. I'm not saying that. Every game's different, and you never know how it's going to go on a Saturday. But I didn't watch anybody this weekend that I'm scared of.
Yeah, BYU, the way they took care of Baylor, and what was an overtime game there, but that's going to be a harder game. Here was my thought after watching that. The BYU game will be more difficult. The Cincinnati game has been more difficult than a couple of your conference games will be. That will be absolutely on the level of a mid-level SEC game, in my opinion.
BYU's better than Missouri. I don't think it's close.
BYU's better than Missouri by 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. They got
BYU would hang half 100 on Missouri. There's no there's no comparison.
They got housed by Kansas State. I think that game was in.
They're the worst team in the SEC. They're worse than Vanderbilt. Yeah. They're the worst team in the SEC.
Whose hot take was that? You or Chuck? One of y'all said that
was
last
mine.
week, and I think it was. I think that's spot on based on what you saw from their performance. Jaron Hall, the BYU quarterback, can play. They get that victory in overtime. I think it was 26-20 over Baylor. That's not going to mean anything. I told you before the season that was my swing game.
There was a reason I put them at 14 in the power rankings last week.
But let's not get too far off on BYU. My point is that Arkansas right now, with the way they can run the football, like what Charlie was saying, they can control the game. There was at no point Saturday where I didn't feel like Arkansas was in control.
And to his point about the wide receivers, Landers is getting 10 yards of cushion every time. Every time. And they're like when you ask guys, hey, where's the vertical passing game? Well, you can't really go deep if a guy's backed off. Now, if they play bump and run, it's a different story. But a lot of times, KJ will just throw that hitch route. Landers will get 7,
Let's not get caught up in all that. If Arkansas is playing well, KJ's going to throw the ball 20 to 25 times. And the vast majority of those throws are not going to be deep balls. If we get into a situation where KJ's got to throw it deep and he's throwing 30 times, we're getting beat. We're getting beat. The numbers, you got to look at the numbers at the end of the day. And KJ, 20 to 25. That's the perfect number for him.
It's becoming clear. If you want to beat Arkansas, you better stop the run. That's the bottom line.
You can't beat Arkansas if you don't do that.
Exactly. You've got to force the Razorbacks to throw. Hey, WT Equipment has 8 locations to take care of everyone across Arkansas and North Louisiana. Their newest locations in Searcy. They're also in Springdale. They're your authorized New Holland agricultural and construction equipment dealer. Sales, service, parts, whatever you need, they've got it. And they're taking care of everybody right now with compact track loaders and excavators on the construction side. If you're thinking about fall harvest, they got what you need for that as well. Again, 8 locations in Arkansas and North Louisiana. Great selection of new and pre-owned inventory. So when you're ready to invest in agricultural or construction equipment, go to your local and nearest WT Equipment location. Find them online at WTEquip.com.
Since this guy's called in Cyclone Country, Danny and Russell, I do want to pay this. How about old Albert getting to 697?
And now it's Albert Pujols with a chance to tie this game, or maybe even better than that, give the Cardinals the lead.
DeYoung deals. Pujols swings and lifts a high fly ball. That's it deep. Center field. It might go. It's a gunner. It's a gunner for Pujols. He gives the Cardinals the lead in the 9th inning with home run 6-9-7.
Danny, I know you probably want to talk some Arkansas football too, but I figured you might touch on that as well.
Absolutely. You were talking about BYU. The last time we went out west to play a team on the road, I think we went to Colorado State.
That's right.
Didn't go well. You have to take into account that altitude is no joke. I don't know, it's probably 7,000 feet there. I'm not sure what it is. But if you've ever been out there, it's a difference, and you have to be prepared for it. That's one reason we have to run the If we don't, we're going to get torched. We gave up, 300 yards passing Saturday? That's going to – Sam said we don't have any weaknesses, but if there is a weakness on this team, we just can't cover good enough. And hopefully we're getting better. We looked a little better Saturday. But as far as Albert goes, when he came to the Cardinals, I thought he's washed up. It's a nice storybook ending. But these last few home runs he's hit, they put we were trailing. You're talking about clutch home runs, and he's got 18 and very limited playing time. If you extrapolate him playing more, it ain't no telling, because he's hitting. He's not just a publicity stunt. And got 21 games left. He's got to get to 700. Come on, you can't get to 699 and quit. So I'm just saying, hey, let's get it done, Albert. Let's get that 700. Go out in style, win the World Series. You guys have a good day.
One thing about a guy like Pujols, and that's a good call, Danny, and I think a lot of people sort of felt that in baseball when he signed with the Cardinals. It was just going to be sort of a farewell tour. He's going to get a lot of gifts when they travel around, and that's going to be it. If you're old enough to remember Willie Mays when he was 42, it was sad to watch Willie Mays at the end. Pujols is not like that. Pujols is in a pennant race, and that's what makes this different, and that's what makes this chase consequential. To the outside observer, this is about Albert getting to 700. To Cardinal people, this is about winning the pennant. This is about what Danny said a minute ago, hitting home runs that give you the lead, hitting consequential home runs, not ceremonial home runs, consequential home runs. Albert's a competitor, and that's why he's doing this right now. He's, average-wise, the hottest hitter in the National League since the All-Star break. I feel like right now, every time he comes to the plate, he's going to hit a home run. They've utilized him in the right way. They've not overutilized him against right-handed hitters. They play to his strengths. I think Marmo's done a good job in terms of when they've inserted him into the lineup, when he's hit. But I think the biggest thing is that the Cardinals are in the race, and he's a competitor. And that's why now I think he'll get it. I didn't think he'd get it at the start of the year. But, he's a gamer. Above all other things, Albert's a gamer. And he's just making it exciting right now.
So what's y'all's gut? Does he get it? Does he hit 700?
I just said I thought he would.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he gets it, and I think he's I'd say 701 or 702 is where he ends up.
Well, here's the thing. When they need him, he'll come through. If they get into a situation where they need him, he'll come through. And look, winning baseball is not just about hitting home runs, but that's a byproduct of all that. And the Cardinals are playing well right now, and Albert's in a pennant race, and I think that means more to him than anything.
All right, last call we got here in this segment. Back to football. Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie 2-0. Bobby Petrino coming into town this week, and how excited are you after that performance?
Woo! A big Ric Flair woo this morning. Why not blow the whistle this morning? Hey, nobody's going to rain on our parade. Hey, listen here, this is our time as a state, as a program, as a fan base to come together and what? Celebrate success and a program. And boy, are we celebrating this morning. Hey, I'm going to challenge Raymond House this morning on the Big Trail Nation as he's got what's called Bringing Down the House Awards. Well, Eddie's got one called Burning Down the House. I want to start with Rocket Man. So I went to my record jukebox collection and put on Rocket Man by Elton John. We got the man in the backfield to run the ball, and I want to go to the man as always. He doesn't get the respect he deserves, Mr. KJ Jefferson. We got the man at quarterback. I want to congratulate the defense. 6 sacks Saturday on Rattler. Woo! If I don't get some blood pumping, I don't know what will. I want to congratulate the big line. Now, you come to block Saturday, open it up them holes. Not a way to block. Woo! If I don't get you fired up, I don't know what will. We're in the top 10. nationwide, and we're climbing that pole. The hot drinks, the dinners, the game steam. If they don't get you pumped, they don't know what will. And just like I said, this fan base, you're great. No doubt about it. You are making a difference in our program. Coach Inman, what you're doing, God bless you, sir. I mean, you took over a program that seemed like hope was lost, and what have you done? You bring in a coaching staff, you change the belief in our program that we can compete against anybody. And boy, 100-year check, sir, you don't get enough credit for having the wisdom in all our programs to hire the right people. It's all about coaching. It's all about recruiting. And I'm seeing this take place before our very eyes. The Hog Pound becoming the Blossom in Fayetteville. It's contagious. I love it. The house is on fire. The flames. And come Saturday, I want the fan base to be aflame. Let's welcome Bobby Petrino back to the Hog Pound and burn the house down. I got my Netflix ready. I got my whistle. Woo! And we're going to get you cranked up and roll over the Bears. And this is what we're going to do. I tell you this, we're going to roll, not to take anybody for granted, but we're going to roll over the Bears. And after watching the Aggies, I got more hope than ever. We're taking the Hog train to Arlington. And guess what? We're going to roll over you too. And I said this before the season started. We're going to have a chance as a program, the best program in America coming to our house. All eyes in the country. This is going to be the biggest game if we take care of business. The next two games, maybe in the history of our program, since 1969, all eyes in the nation will be on the burning house. Woo!
Eddie, thanks for the call. You know, Tommy, it sure is nice to be in that AP top 10 rather than Ryan McGee's bottom 10 football teams. A little different from Morris to Pittman. Back-to-back seasons, you found yourself in that AP top 10.
I just want a little bit of the dose of whatever Eddie takes in the morning. I mean, I just need a little bit of that.
There was one good nugget in there. I don't know if we got time to talk about it, but
Sure.
He talked about the staff. I think that may be what Sam Pittman's done better than anything he's done, and that's put together a coaching staff. That's the thing that gets overlooked. I think we talked about Missouri earlier. I think that's their downfall up there is their staff. These young guys that have not been around that long, they can't hire a staff. I thought that was Chad Morris's undoing at Arkansas, was he didn't hire good staff. That is one of, if not the most important things a head coach can do is hiring the right staff.
Guys on defense are always talking about Barry Odom's game plan. We're seeing it's a little easier to see an offensive game plan because I feel like that most people understand it a little better. But based on what you saw on Saturday, I'd say both those guys, pretty worthy hires.
And now with Nebraska open, you know now all the things are going to start rolling, and you wonder who will be the
Kansas State
candidates.
guy's the one Nebraska needs to hire. That guy's a good coach. Guy at Kansas State, if they're smart, they'll go get him.
Hey, do you need gravel, concrete, or asphalt for your private road, driveway, or parking lot? You need to call Marion County Paving at 870-449-5700. Topsoil, sand, dirt, clay, they do all of that. Again, Marion County Paving, 870-449-5700. If you have a large construction project that you need help with, Marion County Paving, 870-449-5700, and large residential and large-scale commercial and industrial jobs, they can help you as well. Marion County Paving, 870-449-5700. Marion County Paving, trust is just one of the things they build well.
Let's talk a little more Arkansas football coming up. 2-0 to start, 1-0 in conference play. Man, it feels good.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Mike from Bentonville.
33? Okay, got it. 34. Nope. What about 35? Okay, that's all 6 numbers. Who's a good boy?
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
The 10 is up, and the Big Fall Hunting and Fishing 4-day sale starts this Wednesday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Check out the savings on fall hunting and fishing gear under the tent and throughout the store. Everything you need to make this fall one to remember. Get ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Don't miss it this Wednesday through Saturday. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light, crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Shop Metters Lumber True Value for your project supplies. Today, a 32-gallon Rubbermaid trash can with lid is only $28.99. Battling insects? Get a gallon of Ortho Home Defense Max Indoor Insect Barrier for just $15.99 after a $3 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members. For general repairs, get a DeWalt ratcheting screwdriver set for just $13.99. Get these bargains of the month at Metters Lumber True Value while supplies last. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. For nice and clear tonight, overnight low drops down in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 85 to 89. And then Wednesday, we should see plenty of sun. Our high temperatures Wednesday in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
KJ gets the snap, takes a knee, and the ball game's over. Sam Pittman heads toward midfield. Two former Georgia assistants who lived down the street from one another during their time in Athens shake hands at the middle of the field. Arkansas enjoying the spoils today as they defeat South Carolina by a final of 44-30. The Hogs are 2-0.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So I remember against Missouri last year, KJ Jefferson found Traylon Burks in a one-on-one situation. He gets hugged by Sam Pittman on the sidelines. They're both smiling, having a good time. Winning is fun. You start out 2-0 this season. You can tell KJ Jefferson, Sam Pittman, and the rest of this team are having fun. They're joking with each other. We'll tell you a little story coming up from the game in just a sec, guys.
It's fun when you win. That's for sure. Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV on this Hot Take Monday, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck, you referenced this in the podcast, too.
He was in total control. You know, when it was 3rd and 2 on the goal line, I told him, because I'd already went for one time. Went for it on 4th and 1, and we didn't make it, which would have, if I'd have kicked it, assuming he made it, we'd have been up 8. But I kind of wanted to make sure we could get a 2-score lead, and I thought we could make a 4th and 1. And but I'd already told him, I said, if we don't make it here, I'm taking a field goal, and we're going to go up 8. I'm just telling you. You know, I was challenging him a little bit. KJ looked at me and said, well, don't worry about it. Call the extra point team on, you know, so.
Get him ready, Chuck.
You know, that's the byproduct of playing well. You don't have those conversations if you're not good. I mean, if you're behind, you don't have those conversations. I mean, I think everybody knew KJ was going to get that call. I think everybody knew he was going to go in. You know, that stuff goes on in every game. You notice it more when you're winning. You don't have those conversations if you're not.
Well, I thought the call to go on 4th where they had to measure and come out, that was the right call. They just didn't execute the play.
Yeah, they just didn't make it. Yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes you make the right call and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that time was one of them.
That wasn't one where you question the decision. I mean, and they had, 3 different opportunities. They made 2. It was 2 of 3, I think, on
sounds right.
2 of 3 on 4th down. Yes, 2 of 3 of 4th down in the game where they, where it was less than a foot, less than the length of the football. Arkansas should get that even against Alabama all day, every day.
Well, you're going to get the vast majority of them, just like they did on Saturday. Every once in a while, and just like we'll see during the season. Every once in a while, you're going to get stopped, like they did on Saturday. But, you know, when it's 4th and less than a yard and KJ's your quarterback, you run that quarterback sneak, most of the time it'll work.
You know, the reason Arkansas controlled this game and everyone was, the crowd was starting to really filter out with about 6 minutes to go in the ball game. The reason you felt so comfortable is Arkansas dominated on 3rd down. They were 9 of 16, while South Carolina was 3 of 10. Chuck, they dominated both sides of the ball on 3rd down on Saturday.
You know, we talked Friday. I think you said, Ty, what do you want to see Arkansas improve on? I said, I'd like to see their third down defense improve. And I thought it improved on Saturday. And they continue to convert on offense. They're above 50% right now in terms of their third down conversion. But, you know, I've always believed that your third down conversion rate is directly correlated to what you do on first and second down and where you are in the field or where you are in terms of how much you need to go, the chains, all that. You know, a caller a minute ago talked about, you know, they threw for 300 yards. Guys, offenses are good. Quarterbacks are good. Receivers are good. The idea that you're going to have a shutdown defense and hold somebody to 10 or 15 points and you're going to cover them up like NFL cornerbacks do, that ain't going to happen. You're going to give up some points. Good defenses now make big plays in critical moments, and we've got that kind of defense. We give up some yards. None of those things that happened Saturday came when Arkansas was in danger of losing control of the game, in my opinion. And you're going to win ball games where you give up 300 yards.
Well,
that's just how it works in modern football.
You and Quinn, I remember you telling us that you were questioning the Auburn 2010 defense, who gave up a lot of points and didn't have the greatest numbers, but Nick Fairley and company made plays when they had to.
Well, you know, it was actually Keith and I that were talking about this several years ago, and I thought that was the year when defenses began, you know, football was changing. Auburn won it with Cam Newton, and they gave up about 24 points a ball game. They gave up over 20 points per game. The idea that a national champion football team could give up over 20 points a game was just unthinkable. Never happened. But the game's changed. Offenses are good. Teams put points on the board. These kids play 7-on-7 from the time they're 4 years old. Offenses are good. Good five-star quarterbacks, they're all over the place now. They all go to these camps. If their dads have a little bit of money, hey, they can be the finished product, they think, by the time they get to college. Physically, they're pretty close. But offenses are going to move the ball. Offenses are going to score. You got to make big plays at big moments, and that's what good defenses do in the modern era.
You know, we started here talking about third downs. You just look at those first three drives that we know ended in touchdowns, and you were talking Friday about Arkansas doesn't get out of the gate well. Well, they got out of the gate extremely well on Saturday, but it wasn't just the fact, guys, that they scored 3 touchdowns in a row to begin the ball game offensively. You look at those drives. 13 plays, 63 yards.
That's right.
12 plays, 75 yards. 12 plays, 61 yards. That takes you back to the sideline as the opposing defense, and you're really wondering how's the rest of this day going to go when you can't stop them and they're just running it down your throat.
See, it depends on how you define a fast start. If you define a fast start, we're going to throw off play action from our own 35, hit a deep ball, we're going to win the ball. People think that as, you know, they think of that as a fast start. A fast start is when for the first 5 minutes of the game you impose your will on the other team. You get them on their heels right off the bat. You impose your will physically in the first 5 minutes, you'll impose it all day. And that's what they've done for 2 straight weeks.
And they imposed it defensively. South Carolina had the ball first, 5 plays, 17 yards. They had to punt it away. Arkansas goes and scores. Then South Carolina gets 6 plays together. They get a field goal. Then another punt. I mean, no rhythm at all for South Carolina. I think part of it was just Arkansas consumed so much clock with 5.5, 4 minutes, nearly 5 minutes in the first 3 drives. There was no rhythm for Rattler and that offense to get going because Arkansas was just controlling the clock, and while they were still running tempo and going up speed, Arkansas could have eaten more time than what they did if Browns had chosen to slow the tempo down.
You know, when you run a wide-open offense, when you depend on big plays, when you throw deep a lot, when you do a lot of the things that they do offensively, and I'm not knocking it at all, but what I'm saying is if you can't do that, you end up leaving your defense out there on the field way too much. You look at the time of possession in this ball game. We had almost 10 minutes more than they did. At one point, Rick handed me this stat. At one point during the game, we'd snapped the ball 72 times, and they'd snapped it 42.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that when you can't execute offensively in that type of offense, you hang your defense out to dry. And I thought that happened over and over and over again to South Carolina. We remember what we saw in that. But you know, for the vast majority of the day, Arkansas controlled everything up front, and they controlled the ball game as a result.
I know a lot of you enjoyed tailgating and spending time with friends and family. The gardens were full. There were a lot of people out having fun. If you need some help with your next tailgate, Sassy's Barbecue and Grill, Sassy's Original Red House. They got tailgating packs, Ty. No better place to get your tailgating food from, or just stop in and have a meal before or after the game, or lunch today than at Sassy's.
Yeah, the honey sriracha wings are my favorite, but anything you get at Sassy's, it is fantastic. Again, 2 great locations, Sassy's Red House, the original on College, and then Sassy's Barbecue and Grill on Weddington. Allen and his teams will take care of you, and you will have yourselves a whale of a Saturday. All right, when we come back, we'll get into our Morning Rush daily question. Bigger fraud in college football. We'll answer it coming up.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts!
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, so here is your Morning Rush Daily Question. And I guess you can include Nebraska in this question, too. Who is the biggest fraud? Is it Notre Dame or Texas A&M from the weekend? Both teams losing, one to Marshall, one to Appalachian State. Guys, who's the bigger fraud between the Aggies and the Fighting Irish?
I would go with Notre Dame because, you know, the way they hung with Ohio State, and it makes me wonder a little bit about Ohio State at this point. The way they hung with Ohio State gave me belief that, hey, Notre Dame's going to be all right this year. So I would lean towards Notre Dame, and this is what they do. They lose a home game they shouldn't, and you know now they're completely out of any contention for the college football playoff, Chuck.
Well, both these teams get way too much preseason love. Both of them got way too much preseason love, and you know Notre Dame. This guy's lost his first 3 games. They took a flyer on this guy, and I'm sure he's a really good football guy, and I'm sure he's a really good guy by all accounts, but. That's a job that's not just for anybody. You've got to be larger than life. You look back through the history of that program, you got to have a larger than life personality if you're going to win there. And I'm just not sure that they've got the right guy. You know, A&M, I watched, not live, but I went back and watched a lot of that game. I was shocked at how bad they are offensively. They are inept offensively. And they're going to have to get that corrected, or they're not done losing. You know, they just. I mean, if you watched it, I'm not breaking any news to you. I mean, they were. I was floored by how bad they are offensively.
Haynes King sucks. He's horrible. I mean, they have not figured out a quarterback situation that Jimbo has recruited. Kellen Mond was not his quarterback. He was on campus when Jimbo arrived there. He, for all accounts, as heralded as a quarterback guru as people give him credit for, has not had a quarterback that he's recruited since Jameis Winston. That's just plain cut and dry the truth this morning.
Well, that's not their only issue, though. It's not like A&M, you know, you look at them and it's like, wow, that's a really good team. They just don't have an experienced quarterback yet. They were bad in a lot of ways. Now, defensively, they're pretty good. Boy, I don't know if you guys saw this. There's the video circulating around social media right now of the Aggies yell practice on Friday night. And, I mean, they were making fun of the Appalachia guys and all that stuff. And then, you know, they go out there on Saturday and lay an egg.
I had to Google this team to make sure that they're even real. I was really confused because Appalachia is definitely not a state. But sure enough, I found them, and they're located deep, and I mean deep, in the backwoods, just like you would think any hillbilly college that names themselves the Mountaineers. I just hope that these guys can get here tomorrow all right, because I know for a fact that half of their football team can barely even read the name on their jerseys, let alone read a map. It's a shame that the only 2 brain cells that all these guys have left are going to get knocked out by our wrecking crew defense tomorrow. Now let's have a Fight Texas Ag yell practice.
That guy's a loser, Tommy.
Well,
oh, my gosh.
So backwoods at College Game Day, Chuck is going there on Saturday. That's how in the backwoods boom
well,
North Carolina
gosh, I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm thinking, is it just me, or are the kids today really stupid? And but, he's the one that's stupid. I shouldn't speak generally about that. He's the one that's stupid.
Yeah.
I bet he wishes he had that back. I bet his parents are proud. What do you want to think?
I bet so. I don't think Aggies need to be questioning anyone else's intelligence. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
So you woke up this morning inside the top 10 once again. You were last year, you're this year after a solid performance from not just your offense, but your defense as well. Guys, it's nice to be back in the top 10. Bobby Petrino coming into town this weekend. Both Sanders had themselves a day, Rocket and Drew, and that was really the story of the ball game, I thought.
Yeah, and I don't know how much y'all have looked at tickets, but Chuck, this is going to be close to a sellout game. It's going to be another big crowd. Tickets are actually pretty hard to come by for this week when you just look online and look around.
This will be a tougher ticket than the South Carolina game was, and a lot of that has to do with kickoff time. 6 o'clock is, I've come to believe that a lot of your attendance figures have more to do with the time of day than anything else. There'll be a big crowd, and Petrino being back has a lot to do with it. I'll say this, guys, after watching all these upsets over the weekend, I guarantee you Bobby Petrino's saying that can be us. Mm-hmm. That's what he's going to be preaching to his kids all week long. Now, as I said on the podcast, I don't think they can do it, but I think he'll have them believing it by Friday. And when you watch a weekend of upsets like that, and you're playing one of those teams the next week, you can bet that they're going to be believing a little bit more than maybe they did. But I think it also catches the attention of the favored team too. It's a lot easier for a head coach to say you better take these guys seriously. Look what happened to the Aggies, or look what happened in Nebraska, or look at what happened in some of these other games.
Sam Pittman, I would guess, is telling that, as you just said, to his team this week, look, we don't want to be one of these teams. We've got all this momentum going. Let's keep it rolling when the Bears come into town. Let's welcome in Brent, who's in Stuttgart this morning. Brent, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
All right, Chuck. I just want Ty and Tommy and you to know that y'all are the standard bearer for sports talk radio in the great state of Arkansas. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, thank you, Brent.
And I'm just going to tell you guys, too, from up there in heaven, my dad was very, very proud of those offensive linemen for the Hogs. I'm just going to tell you. That I don't know if you watch football up in heaven, but he was saying, oh, my goodness gracious, these boys are physical right here. I'm just going to tell you that. And the biggest fraud in college football, it's got to be Jimbo Fisher. I mean, Notre Dame, they can't help it. They've had 2 coaches with no pedigree as a head coach, and they've both been disasters. Going back to Jerry Faust, and Marcus Freeman is headed right down that road.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm afraid so too.
Yeah. They may give him another year, but they won't give him 2, 3. And Jimbo better get it right, because he needs. Yeah, they're not above firing him, because Kevin Sumlin had a better record at A&M at this point in his career than Jimbo Fisher.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Now, shouldn't be quoting a Facebook graphic as my source, but it was like 35-15 versus 36-14 after 50 games for both those guys. You're exactly right, Brent. That it's
right
almost
there.
similar
it's
records.
Right there, close.
Well, they're just bound by the extension. It's the extensions that kill you. And A&M's in a spot right now where they've got an extension on Jimbo, and they're going to have a hard time paying that out, guys.
Well, all I know is the Hogs are in the top 10. Everything's beautiful. Bobby Petrino's coming to town Saturday. We need to be on our P's and Q's, but I don't think we need to worry about that with this coaching staff. I'm just telling you. I think they know how to get the attention of our players, and we've got to do something to speed up the college game. I mean, we review if we came out for the coin toss on time. I mean, it is ridiculous. How can we speed the game up, Chuck, as a broadcaster?
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it frustrates me. They take forever on those replays. It's like they got to call up their cousin, and part of the deal is that I'm just going to say this, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but they got a bunch of people in that replay booth up in that press box, and I've been to Birmingham. I've seen the exact setup. I know exactly what they do in there. I know where the people are stationed in the replay booth down there in Birmingham. They walked us all through it. Part of the deal is I got about 12 guys that got to touch everything. I mean, you got to have about 12 – you got 12, 15 guys getting paid in there. Well, they got to justify their existence. So, I don't know. Let's call my cousin Ed down the road and see what he thinks. And I don't know. What do you think? Well, what do you think, Coach? Well, I don't know. What do you think, Bob? Before you know it, you got 8 or 9 opinions going on. Tommy's shaking his head right now. He knows I'm being facetious. But it does seem that way sometimes.
Well, you had the replay at the end of the game. I know you want to end the game correctly. The game was over on whether or not the knee was down. What was it? I think it's Chris Paul that had picked up the loose ball. So technically, by the stat book, South Carolina ended the game with 2 fumbled series, fumbled the ball away twice in a row to end the game. But whether or not that was going to be a score or not, I mean, that took forever to kind of really figure out what was going on to end a game that was already over.
I like the guy on Hog Reaction. He called in and said, I'm 10 beers deep, and I could tell that wasn't a touchback on KJ's fumble. I don't need a replay for that. I've been drinking beer all day.
We had some colorful calls on Hog Reaction. I think that of all the
that was the best one of the night.
Yeah, of all the calls we received throughout the week, and you're welcome to jump in here this morning at 877-377-6963. The Hog Reaction call is the best. And Chuck, thanks for hopping on with us, man. I know you got a long day on Saturday, so it was fun to get.
That was all right. That was fun.
It's always fun to talk about Hog win, either directly after the game or that. But you look at this football game, guys. I mean, let's look at KJ through 2 weeks. Through 2 weeks, KJ is 77%, 4 touchdowns throwing. He's got nearly 130 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns there, 0 turnovers though. And that's kind of the biggest thing. If you want to look at one thing that he's done to this point, he's just not putting the ball, for the most part, in harm's way.
It's a difference between throwing when you want to and throwing when you have to. When you can run the ball, you throw when you want to. And when you throw when you want to, you're going to complete the vast majority of those passes. And you'll find when you find yourself in a position where you have to throw, that's when the problems come. Or you complete passes like South Carolina did at the end of the game that look pretty and pad your stats, but they in no way, shape, or form put you in a position to win the game. That's what happened, in my opinion, on some of these numbers that got their offensive numbers that got skewed at the end of the game. But all this stuff's a byproduct of being able to run the ball.
Tommy, I love what KJ said about running the ball.
When I'm running the ball, it's just one man can't tackle me, so I try to carry that throughout when I'm in the pocket or – anything, so I just try to, that's just my mentality, man. Just a mind thing, just being able to just run hard, fall forward, gain positive yards, and just keep the chains rolling. So I'm pretty sure my teammates like it too, to get them fired up as well. So.
Well, you run the ball to win, but you were talking about his accuracy a minute ago. I read this note from the game notes after the game Saturday. He completed 85.7% of his passes for 162 yards and 1 touchdown. His completion percentage ranks second in school history. for a game. The record is held by Ryan Mallett, 87.5% versus Tennessee. Here's the interesting part to the note, though. Jefferson and Mallett have combined for each of the 4 top single-game passing percentage marks. So when you look at the record book, those 2 quarterbacks hold the highest records for percentage completion in a game.
You know, it's interesting because both those quarterbacks, you know, when you look at them, I don't think anybody disputes that Mallett's the better passer. I mean, by far and away. And that's not a knock on KJ. I mean, Mallett, you know, he could sling it all over the place. He can make any throw you wanted to make. Arkansas used the pass to set up the run in the Bobby Petrino era. They did most of their running in the second half. They ran to win after they built the lead. That's when they blitzed most of the time on defense. They built the lead, and then they ran to win in the second half. And Arkansas, on the other hand, now, that passing game set up by the running game. You know, KJ's numbers wouldn't be what they are if they didn't run the ball the way they do.
Oh, go look at that Warren Thompson touchdown. Guys, there's no one within 10 yards of him when he's just sitting in the back of the end zone because KJ's running that read option to the right. Everyone comes up.
That's the RPO.
Yeah.
That's the RPO.
Yeah, he
right
runs
there.
forward and then he just sucks everybody in, gets them off
that's
the
the
step.
RPO.
That's exactly. I mean, that's the when you can perform or execute that part of the RPO where you make the linebackers and the corners come up because that's exactly he moved forward a step and a half and then just stopped, went back, and then he was wide open. And that was the one thing when I went back and watched it yesterday. Orlovsky said, "Hey, he'd been talking to Briles for the game. Those safeties and then I'm just quoting what he's saying. Those safeties had a tendency on South Carolina's film to peel off like that." And he said it was only a matter of time before Briles took that shot, and that's exactly what happened on that play. That safety gave it away, and KJ read it and executed the throw perfectly.
Kendall Briles is just getting started. We're finally seeing what we talked about all offseason, that he's never had a starting quarterback return on any of his teams since he's been the offensive coordinator. KJ's going to break Felipe's record from 2 years ago, completion percentage. So there's not any doubt in my mind that he's going to have the single-season best completion percentage. And, guys, we're through 2 games. I bet Kendall has a full part of the playbook that he hasn't even gotten to yet at all that are going to blow defensive coordinators out of the water in the coming weeks.
Well, you know, we're just going to have to see if they can continue to run the ball. You run the ball, you can expand that playbook.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that note up, though, because I think if you just went out on the street, certainly before this season, and ask, hey, who's the better quarterback, KJ or Ryan Mallett? I think 7 or 8 out of 10 would have probably told you Ryan Mallett. And I just bring that stat up, that number up, because KJ, I think, is going to play his way into the same conversation in the same breath. I think he's maybe already done it, Chuck.
Maybe. I mean, Mallow is pretty gifted now, guys. Mallow is pretty gifted.
Well, I say it as a compliment to KJ.
You know, KJ's a really good player. They're different types of players. It makes it hard to compare them. They ran different types of offenses, both very good offenses, both very efficient and put a lot of points on the board, but different type offenses.
Well, he's a running quarterback in the RPO versus a pocket passer.
Mallett, I love Mallett. I don't think he can run the RPO. Hey, guys, when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. These guys are pros. They've been around for over 50 years. They're Arkansas-owned. They're Arkansas-operated. Charlie Boyce, Razorback great. He's the owner of Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. And there's a lot of former Razorbacks that are out there. When we went out there the other day, I mean, it was like old home week. Trey Holloway's out there. Nick Schmidt's out there. Casey Rolette, Daryl Madej, Brian McClelland. There's others, too. There's some former football players, softball players out there. But they really do a terrific job. And I think as you deal with them, you're going to find that out as well. They are pros. They are pros. And, you know, Charlie's a third-generation HVAC operator. And, you know, a lot's changed over that time, I'm sure. But Pascal's always been the trusted choice for your home heating and air needs. We're about to get into that time of the year. So go with the pros you trust. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas-owned, Arkansas-operated. You can call or schedule online today. GoPascal.com.
Not a great night for Dallas Cowboy fans. Dak Prescott looks like he's going to be out half the season. Here is Mike McCarthy on his quarterback?
Well, I mean, they're talking as it's going to require some surgery, but we haven't even talked to the doctor yet, so it's a significant injury.
Is it a broken thumb, or are you sticking with hand?
It's on his hand, in the thumb area. I mean, it's a significant injury. Once we get all the facts, we'll get that to you. I mean, like I said, he hasn't seen a doctor yet.
I don't know if you guys were up to watch the NBC was all over it, and Collinsworth pointed this out that they had the video of Dak holding his hand, but then after the game was over, the trainer was coming over to talk to McCarthy, and all you could do was read the lips. And he's like, "Oh wow," and he just hung his head, and you just presume they were giving him the news of Prescott, and he confirmed it later with that audio there. But you could see the hope for the next few weeks pouring out of his face when he was given that news, and NBC had the perfect shot of it.
Yeah, you could see when it happened. I mean, when they showed the replays, like, oh, man, that's not good. He's going to be out for a long time. I don't know if you guys saw after the game. Jerry, there's some video of Jerry and Steven and the big entourage walking through the tunnel. Jerry broke the news about Dak to the media before, he even talked to the team or anything like that. And a lot of the players who were interviewed after the game, it was the reporters that were asking him questions that actually broke the news to him about Dak. And Jared kind of threw everybody under the bus after the game last night, coaches, everybody. It was it's going to be a long year. I mean, it's just going to be a long year. And that's the thing about it, a game like that last night, you lose, then you lose your quarterback, and, you're one game into the season, and it already looks shot.
Yeah, you lost your left tackle before the season began. Injuries have already defined a season that's only a game old.
Yeah, so the Cowboys got slaughtered by Tom Brady and the Bucs. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, they looked really good against the Arizona Cardinals. That defense is actually pretty good as well. They limited Kyler Murray. Packers, we sucked. Aaron Rodgers has no one to throw the ball to. Devontae Adams, he's having fun with Derek Carr and the Raiders.
Did Aaron Rodgers get a haircut?
He did.
Was it a cut or a trim? Was it a
you
cut
need to
or
get
a
a haircut
trim?
like Aaron Rodgers. He got a buzz, didn't he? I mean, he got all that stuff cut off, didn't he?
I'm not getting a haircut, Chuck. I'm going to keep it
you need
how
to get
it
a haircut
is.
like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, a lot of missed field goals. So we had one game into the tie, Indianapolis and Houston. You had tons
that early
of missed
wave
field
was
goals.
great.
Oh,
Overtime, that early wave was awesome.
I had a full large pizza, and I sat with the boys and didn't do a thing all day until we worked on the
Steelers game.
I mean,
my goodness,
it was.
Nobody wanted to win that game.
Oh. No, I mean,
it was fun to watch.
One game ended in a tie, and it was there were a lot of close ones.
Yeah, it was fun. Boswell kicked that game winner for the Steelers against Cincinnati. Burrow threw 4 picks.
Hey, and that Boswell kick came as time expired in overtime. That was.
That was it.
That was play from being play away from being another tie.
It was not. Yeah, the initial Eagles. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. Eagles, and I know it's the Lions. A.J. Brown was a good pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the team to beat in the NFC East. I still think the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't agree with Bart Scott. I still think the Kansas City Chiefs are the team to beat, not just in that division. We'll see about the AFC. But, Chuck, you said it on Friday. The Bills are the best team in the NFL. After what I saw on offensively and defensively, Josh Allen and company, that is the team to beat this year. That is going to be a fun team to watch throughout the year, and him and Diggs, the connection.
I think they're a great team. I'm not an AFC guy per se, but I think they're a great team, and I think they're the team to beat in pro football.
Yeah, it should be fun. We got some Monday Night Football coming up tonight. Hey, we're brought to you by our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. Hey, I'm a minute early.
Yeah, that's why.
Never mind.
Okay, I was confused.
Give me another minute. That's my
all right,
bad.
I'm trying to think what else stood out in the National Football. You guys probably didn't watch it because y'all probably actually did something productive on a Sunday. I did not. I was anything but productive. Did y'all watch anything else?
I watched
from the
nothing
game?
but the NFL. Yeah, well, I take that back.
I watched Pujols hit his home run.
I watched
Pujols hit his home run.
Yeah.
Who was that against, by the way, Chuck?
The Pirates.
Pirates. Okay, so
Yeah.
Phil has something else that he can gripe about on halftime later on
all those
today.
Pirates fans out there. We got all these Pirates fans listening. I'm sure they were bummed out.
Oh, man.
I'm being sarcastic.
Phil leans into how much the Pirates stink. He can be happy about his Steelers, but he just
Well,
has
there's
fun.
nothing novel there. I think that's something we already knew.
He definitely has fun about that.
All right, let me try this again after a false start. It's 1st and 15 here as I tell you about Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. Man, you guys, you could feel it this morning with the weather cooling off. I stepped
48 degrees in Fayetteville.
I mean, it is
really?
awesome
Jeez.
this morning. And, hey, no better place to be than in the Ozarks And near Bull Shoals Lake and right below the dam here at Gaston's White River Resort, you can just feel that it's like 5 or 10 degrees cooler at Gaston's any time because of that air just coming off of the White River that gives you just an extra crispness year-round in the air. You'll feel refreshed. You'll feel relaxed when you go to Gaston's White River Resort. Private cabins and lodges. All of their accommodations are private. There's no hotel-type setup at Gaston's. It's all individual just for you, and that's one of the reasons you will love it. Get your reservation for fall right now. Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Paschal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Paschal protection plan. Call the pros at Paschal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The 10 is up, and the Big Fall Hunting and Fishing 4-day sale starts this Wednesday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Check out the savings on fall hunting and fishing gear under the tent and throughout the store. Everything you need to make this fall one to remember. Get ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Don't miss it this Wednesday through Saturday. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com. The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter Agent Wade Gilkey about renter's insurance.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hey, I know a lot of you have been wondering, what's the deal with Jalen Catalon and Miles Slusher? Sam Pittman addressed that in the post-game press conference.
Slusher will be back next week, Catalon. Y'all want to talk about that or not?
Yeah, I think people want to know what's going on. There's been a lot of stuff out there.
Catalon is having surgery on his shoulder, reconstruction surgery on his shoulder, so he won't be back this year.
Guys, I hate that for Jalen. Came back, and unfortunately another injury keeps him off the field.
You know, you have to wonder about, his football future when you talk about something like this. And, the indication that I got from conversations over the weekend with the people who know is that this is a bad deal. And, you more than anything, you feel for the guy. I mean, let's get beyond the football for just a second. I mean, this is a kid who's about to have major reconstructive surgery. He's already lost half a season. I mean, you just have to, you have to wonder what the future is going to hold for him.
I thought one of the interesting nuggets out of what Sam Pittman said was he's just basically giving Catalon some leave from the program, won't be around the building, and that's I thought that was telling about kind of where Catalon was emotionally, and that you could probably
he's devastated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could read into the pain, I guess is where I was going, of where he was moving forward, because now you had this vision of a future playing in the NFL, and that's probably vanishing in front of his eyes right now, honestly.
Well, you think about a guy who has literally dedicated his whole life to doing this, and I know it's a short life by comparison. I'm not saying that it's not like a 50-year-old getting the rug jerked out from under him, but by the same token, when you do think that you're going to be that guy, you think about not only what you can do for yourself, but what you can do for your family, what you can do for your parents and the children that come along. That's what I'm sure is also going through his mind right now. Now, look, I wouldn't bet a nickel against this guy coming back. I know right now, any kind of decision you make right now, you make in large part on emotion. And I do think that it's a good idea to get away from all this for a little bit if you're him. And there's a lot of thinking that you got to do right now. And I hope he's got a good support group, and I know he's got a good family. And this is the time when a young man, a very young man, by comparison, who's going through something really that seems really tragic. I hope he has those people around him. I think he does, and he'll be okay. You just don't know about the football part.
I guess we should point out he is a redshirt junior, so the possibility of him playing
it's conceivable.
There is eligibility. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm just saying, for those wondering, well, would he have? He is a redshirt junior.
Other football headlines in your Hog Update: Arkansas jumps inside the top 10 of the AP poll. You're 11th on the coaching poll. Drew Sanders got named the National Defensive Player of the Week by Walter Camp Foundation. Guys, listen to these stats: 11 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He was, as you said during the broadcast, Chuck, he was everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3 tackles for loss. Sam Pittman on the pregame show Boy, he gives you good nuggets, man. I mean, I've done pregame shows with coaches who give you 5 minutes of nothing. And, boy, he's kind of like Dave Van Horn. If you pay attention, man, you can get a lot of stuff. But he talked on the pregame show about getting into their backfield. We talk about it in simple terms. Can they get a pass rush? Tackles for loss on running plays are big plays, just as big as sack plays. Their lost yardage, you get them behind the chains, and that's one of the reasons they were not good on third down. I thought our defensive, the defensive line, sometimes it was guys coming, but they got into that backfield. They were disruptive. And that's one of the things that I thought they did really well defensively.
Chuck, you weren't the only one that was talking with Coach Pittman on Saturday. They did a unique thing on College Game Day where Reese Davis was actually asking some questions too.
Well, if you're real comfortable, this phrase is going to keep on giving from watching warm-ups. Who's bringing the liquor to this party for your Razorback team today?
Well, I hope somebody over the age of 21, that would be preferable.
I had not seen them do that before, but Arkansas directly follows College Game Day. They've got Pittman with AirPods, and he's just walking around the field watching his team, and Reese Davis is talking to him. It was awesome.
Yeah, modern technology. It's pretty amazing what you can pull off.
It works. All right, a couple more things. Nick Smith was named preseason National Newcomer of the Year by Blue Ribbon Yearbook. We haven't talked a lot of basketball lately, but I know you all haven't forgotten about what this season could hold for this team. The soccer team won yesterday 3-0. So Colby Hale squad keeping it rolling.
You're a soccer guy. You should know that.
You got to learn to say nil, man.
You're a
got to learn to say nil.
Do
you say points in baseball? Do you say Cardinals got more points than the Pirates? It's nil. It's not zero.
Phil weeded that out of me doing halftime with him for a year. But
you're the soccer guy. You played high school soccer.
Yeah, but
weren't you a state champion?
We were a state champion.
Were you a state champion?
Yes, we were a state
champion. Were you a state champion?
What am I supposed to say here? Yeah.
Do you get a ring or do you get a medal in soccer? Do you get a ring or a medal?
Yeah, we got state rings.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I got that.
I was just curious.
In my memoir box or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
How many participation trophies you got?
Memory box.
His memoir box.
We won a state championship. What are you talking about participation trophy?
I just asked.
I care about winning. I'm a competitive SOB.
All right.
I tore my ACL and didn't play in that game, but that's neither here nor there.
That's what I was asking you.
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer.
That's what you were lining that up. All right, that's going to do it for your Hog Update, brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Guys, last night was the first time in probably months that I have not left my fan on. It feels good this morning. Nice little 50 degrees, a little brisk. Finally starting to get some fall.
48 in Fayetteville, fellas. 48 in Fayetteville.
I think we've turned the corner. I think these that last hurrah from summer. Do you think it's gone? I think we're done with that. I think this is.
I don't know. I'll bet the people sitting on the east side on Saturday could probably tell you it's still a little bit hot. If we'd had yesterday's weather on Saturday, it would have been perfect.
Man, but no one could really, unless you had one of those great seats that were up underneath the press box in the overhang, like rows 55 or 6
those are good seats.
On the west
those
side.
Are good seats.
When it rains and it's hot like that, those are
the old school great seats right there. They don't have chair backs. They don't have any of the fancy stuff. They're not going to bring you food, but you're under the overhang. You're between the 40s. That's a great seat.
Yeah, you got to walk down to the concessions, but you'll deal with it on a day like
Absolutely.
Like Hot Take Mondays brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. We're talking about fall weather. That means camping weather, and you can do it in style with Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone Alliance. Those are the best brands, and Wheels has the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. It's all at Wheels, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So I've told the story of my brother and one of his friends dressing up as Jessica Durrell and Bobby Petrino. Are we going to see a run on neck braces and motorcycle equipment and all that stuff this week?
I figured you'd be out peddling them this week, Ty. This is a good week. If you're going to make some money, just sell some neck braces.
I think I can maybe buy a bunch of them off Amazon and then try and sell them outside the game before we get in. That's not a bad idea, Chuck. I'm going to take that and not give you any credit or any money for it.
That's fine. Go ahead. Get after it.
Oh, that's
get you a Harley. You can ride around on a Harley this week.
You know, Chuck made a comment last week. I would look good riding a motorcycle with this hair. I'm not going to get.
I didn't say
Chuck.
that, did I?
Oh, he did. You 100% did. I'll go back.
Well, get your motorcycle then. Get your motorcycle, tough guy.
Just this week, I would not call myself a tough guy, but I would look decent in a motorcycle, driving around a little bit.
You better learn to ride it before
I was
you
gonna
get
say,
out there on the road, buddy.
I wrecked my scooter up in Northwest Arkansas in college. I think I'd wreck a motorcycle
gosh.
too. It'd be a waste of money.
No, you don't need to tell that.
It'd be a waste of money.
I wrecked my scooter.
Yeah. Tie and leather chaps. Can you just imagine?
I got the glutes to fill them out. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. God.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa,
of
Dad,
the
Christmas is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the
You
year.
know your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their Hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room
Dad,
ready
I
to go,
graduated 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting.
Folks, come and see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. And, Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Do you need financial support for your vision? Backed by more than $26 billion in assets, RBS Bank is one of the most trusted commercial lenders in the country. They are community-focused and empowered by local decision-makers. Local RBS bankers get to know your business and build unique solutions to help bring your vision to life. To learn more, visit rbs.com. Member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American-made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. We're nice and clear tonight. And overnight low drops down in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 85 to 89. And then Wednesday, we should see plenty of sun. Our high temperatures Wednesday in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and HitThatLive.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman, he ain't afraid of no work.
KJ gets the snap, takes a knee, and the ball game's over. Sam Pittman heads toward midfield. Two former Georgia assistants who lived down the street from one another during their time in Athens shake hands at the middle of the field. Arkansas enjoying the spoils today as they defeat South Carolina by a final of 44-30. The Hogs are 2-0.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLive.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 on a Hot Take Monday edition of The Morning Rush. 44-30, the final. You coming on the high side against the Gamecocks. 1-0 in SEC play, 2-0 overall. And, Tommy, you were at the game, and I think, could be wrong, we did get a little bit better feedback from the second game. Not great. We'll talk about that coming up in just a sec.
Let me tell you about that, because I went as a fan on Saturday. I'll tell you about my experience. It was all brought to you on a Hot Take Monday by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell. Again, Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Left, did the pregame show with Zach. Got on the road at 5 minutes after 8, and I was in lot 56 at 5 minutes after 9. Now, I'm going to tell you, there was no moss growing under the tires coming up I-49. But I'm going to tell you, if you didn't run close to 90, you were going to get run off the road coming up the hill. Everybody was in a hurry to get there. But an hour from the fort into lot 56, and we spent 10 minutes, which I didn't think was bad, between getting off the exit 60, and then the biggest bottleneck was getting through the four-way stop there by Baum. Once we got in the parking lot, everything was fine. Getting into the stadium, less than 10 minutes. So whatever adjustments, whatever issues they made, and we went into the stadium at 10:30. I thought the operation was smooth, Chuck, on Saturday.
I've not heard anybody complaining. I'll put it that way. Now, I'm sure there are always complaints. I don't discount that, and I'm sure that there's always somebody that didn't have a great experience. But I didn't hear the mass complaints the way that I think we all did after the first game. So I thought it'd be better. They've got capable people there. It's not their first time out, and I thought it'd be better. And they apologized for the day that it wasn't. So I don't know what more they can do, really.
Now, I ended up at Dixon after the game, but it wasn't by bus. It wasn't by shuttle bus. It was by foot. It was by choice and by foot. So, so I can't attest to how the traffic was southbound out of the stadium because, we had to go and make sure that the beer was the perfect temperature over there on Dixon Street. After
well, yeah, sometimes you got to be a taste tester.
Well, I mean, I've got a certification. Drew's got one of these minister degrees or whatever he got online for $50. I'm a certified beer temperature tester. So I had to use that.
How late did you stay up? Did you stay out there past 6 o'clock?
I was
7?
back in the valley for dinner that night and to watch. What were we watching? Kentucky and Florida.
Kentucky and Florida.
Yeah, that was a good game. So.
I told you guys Kentucky would win that game.
You were right.
You did. Kentucky. Anthony Richardson looked horrible. He was bad, and
he's just good enough to get you beat.
We got to remember that he's a true sophomore too. And
well,
he doesn't have a lot of game experience, and I didn't think about that. But Kentucky, man,
they didn't let him beat him with his legs. They didn't let him get out of the pocket and run the football. Is what Kentucky did not do. So they forced him to throw, and he couldn't make the throws.
Who do you think would win if Arkansas and Kentucky play this year?
That'd be a good game.
I think it'd be a good
training rooms would win. They would be.
I think
busy.
Arkansas would win. But I think that Kentucky's really physical. Now, I watched that game Saturday night, and I did. There are times you watch Kentucky, and it's the same old Kentucky. They struggle to move the ball, good defensively. But some Kentucky teams in the past, like I'll take for example when, Richardson. Thought his receiver was going to run a hitch, and he ran a fade, and he threw it right to the defensive guy, and he scored a touchdown on the pick six. In years past, the Kentucky guy would have dropped that. Now they make those plays, and they score, and that's why they won the game. They were a lot more physical than Florida. Again, we talk out of both sides of our mouth. I just was floored by how Florida got all that attention after beating Utah when the day before everyone was saying there's no comparison between the SEC and the Pac-12, which there's not. But then we gave Florida extra credit for beating Utah because they were overrated at number 7. And so we treated that win over Utah like it was a big win over a great Pac-12 team. Florida jumped too much into the poll. They're not as physical up front as Kentucky, and that's why Kentucky won the game. I wasn't blown away by either team, to be honest with you. It was one of those deals like we talked about earlier. Did you watch a single team this weekend that scared you? Neither one of those teams would scare me.
No, even the teams at the top, we talk about Alabama. They had a flat performance, you could say, with a penalty-ridden performance against Texas. Georgia did not play up to Kirby Smart's standards. He was very critical of his team following the game. So, I think it's – when you have some of these games like we saw a week ago, particularly with Georgia and particularly with Notre Dame and Ohio State, it's hard to put it together 2 weeks in a row when the opponent doesn't necessarily get you going.
What y'all think about Texas getting ranked after losing? They're 24.
I expected it. It's another one of those brand rankings. And look, Texas played like a top 25 team Saturday. Mm-hmm. But I do think a lot more about that. I think it was a lot more about Alabama in that game. But, I'm gonna point something out here, and it pertains to BYU, Colorado State. When you go to a place you've never been before, and everything is different. Now, they didn't change time zones, but they went to a place they'd never been before. Strange things happen. Penalties, playing without your normal poise. And I think a lot of it is because you're in an environment where the whole world seemingly is against you and you've never been there before. There's a familiarity. You've always got somebody or a bunch of guys on your team, in all probability, who have played in the stadium that you're going to play in that night. And when you go to a place you've never been before, that's when stuff like this happens. They're still kids.
A lot of fans wouldn't think this off the cup, but you're more likely to lose at BYU than to lose against A&M. I mean, not only do the rankings say that, I just think the eye test says that. I mean, you look at BYU right now, I mean,
well, based on this past Saturday night, that's correct. I mean, but now we don't know that it's going to be this way this coming Saturday.
I want to see
based on what we've seen.
I want to see what A&M does to Miami. They got Miami this week. I want to see what they can do against the U.
I'll bet A&M plays a good ball game Saturday night. I would not pick against them Saturday night.
I don't remember if that game's in
College
Station. It is in College Station.
It's in College Station.
Okay. Yeah.
He better win.
That seat's getting pretty hot for Jimbo. JW in London's got a hot take for us this morning. JW, go ahead, man. You're on the morning rush.
Hey, before my hot take, I'm looking forward to this next Saturday because it's like you say on one of your promos, this is the best time of the year. And anybody who thinks that we're not in for a fight on Friday are not paying attention. I think we'll win. But they're not just going to give it to us. We're going to have to take it. As far as for my hot take, if you'll indulge me, back in high school, right between my junior and senior year, 4 of us boys, mostly working class and lower middle class, we had a band. We practiced in a garage. We practiced in the garage of the richest guy, whose daddy was a highway patrolman, so he let us set up all of our equipment in his garage. Well, we got into a big fight one night because 2 people wanted to play the Beatles, and me and Schmidt wanted to play the Rolling Stones. So it escalated. So Schmidt and I, the drummer, had a blue Vespa motor scooter. So me and him, and I had hair just barely long, at that time it was considered long, but just barely long. We get on the motor scooter and head out. We say, the heck with this, and get out of that. Now, the reason I mentioned that, we were kind of cool doing that, because nobody else had a scooter like that. But I'm still laughing. I'm imagining Ty wrecking a little blue motor scooter, and can no way in the world imagine him on a Harley-Davidson bike. And again, this is one of the reasons I listen to y'all. I find some reason to laugh every time I listen to you in the morning. Y'all have a good day, okay?
We'd be calling him
Thanks,
Road
JW.
Rash when he got done.
You said Road Rash?
Yeah, that's what we'd be calling
If I wrecked a moped used scooter, I think I'd probably wreck a Harley-Davidson. Probably an investment in itself to not invest in a scooter. I didn't know where that plane was going to land, and finally did. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy a Harley scooter this week. Do we see anyone buy a Harley Davidson this week, Tommy? Simply because
I don't think so. I don't think so. Hey, I knew guys when Petrino wrecked his Harley. I knew guys that had Harleys at home. Their wives made them sell them.
Did they really?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was. Hey, let me tell you something. That was a tough week for motorcycle owners around our state.
Yeah.
Those guys that you guys that own Harleys know what I'm talking about.
Was it because they wrecked it, or because they were worried that their
husbands?
It's
because they had to answer a lot of questions about what they were doing when they were riding that Harley.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to ride with the boys, sweetheart.
They were more worried about the blonde than the wreck.
Hey, when a 50-year-old man can ride around with a 22, 23-year-old woman on the back of his Harley, and you've got one at home, and you may have to answer a few questions that night. I really did. I knew a guy who, after the Petrino wreck, his wife made him sell his Harleys.
Jeez.
True story.
I feel for that guy this morning. That's talk about an
unlucky
situation.
It was that kind of era, guys. That was a tough week now. That was a tough week. If you were around and of age and remember and were close to that was a tough week.
I still remember Trevor Maddich on College Football Live telling the world that Arkansas was going to drop outside of the top 10 in the 2012 season. I thought he was an idiot. Sure enough, that season fell apart, and we were horrible that year. All right, back to the phones. Robert has called in. Robert, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
Hey, guys, real quick, on Saturday, a bunch of people called in, we want Bama. I know they had a bad game, but I would be leery still because they are physical. They put the number one quarterback, out. They broke his collarbone. I know you can get hurt on any given Saturday. That's a given. But they're still physical. And I don't know that we're ready to, I think we need to get a few more games. And we don't need to lose any more kids either. I'm just saying, everybody wanting that just because we won 2 games. I think we better, let's win a few more and then go after the big one. see what
Oh,
y'all
I don't
think
disagree with that.
Good
Alabama's
call,
got a way of running all your plans.
Yeah, the biggest play from that game that we haven't even talked about was the roughing the passer in the end zone call.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama got a gift from the gods.
Oh, they sure did.
Because there is no way in the world. I don't know how you come up with roughing. I mean, and listen, for all those that say I always defend the story, I have no idea how in the world you come up with that. Alabama got a gift from the football gods on that play.
Big 12.
It was looking to me. It looked to me like they were just trying to find a reason.
Yeah.
To make that play okay for Alabama, where they didn't have to just go against them there.
Because it should have been a safety.
Was
right?
that not
Should have been.
Was that, I was going to say that wasn't grounding.
Anybody watching the game, I mean, sometimes, guys, look, I like replay, but gosh, I mean, sometimes, they get bogged down in the minutia, as a boss of mine used to say years ago, and sometimes you got to go by the eye test. Again, kind of like that caller on halftime or on Hog Reaction. You can be 10 years deep or 10 beers deep and see that was a safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that to me was the biggest play of the college football weekend, because if that play goes a different direction, I mean, we're talking about a whole different outcome perhaps.
Texas was able to get pressure consistently on Bryce Young in that game, and also limited Alabama and Jahmyr Gibbs running the football. If Arkansas can do that, they'll have a chance. But like you said, there were a couple, and Alabama was still heavily penalized in that game. There was a couple PIs that McKistery and some of the other dudes were getting away with. They were beyond fortunate, and Saban knows, to escape Boston with the victory, because they by no means won that football game.
Again, I mean, what happens one week doesn't always tell you what's going to happen the next week. And we saw Alabama win. Let's not forget that. We saw Alabama win. They didn't play up to the standards that a lot of people think Alabama ought to play up to, but nothing that happened Saturday is going to change the way Arkansas would approach that game with Alabama. Nothing at all. You still have to run the football to have a chance to win. If Alabama had blown Texas off the field, it would have still been the same way. Or if Texas had upset them and Alabama had lost, it would have still been the same thing. You got to run the ball when you play them. And if you can't, you're not going to have a chance to win.
We're taking a lot of calls this morning, 877-377-6963. Our text line's not working. We're not ignoring you, but if you want to get your opinion heard, you got to call us like Woods in Bentonville has this morning. Go ahead, Woods.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're good, man. How are you?
Good. I was in Columbus, Ohio this week, so I got to see a whole lot of Buckeyes fans that were just wanting to beat Arkansas State, and I was like, that's kind of pathetic. But anyways, my deal was, they ran Rocket Sanders into the ground on Saturday, and we didn't see a whole lot of A.J. Green. I know that DJ's out. Like, where are we going to see, like, the distribution of the football as far as ground game, at some point, because these guys aren't going to be able to last, a full season taking that many carries and that much punishment.
I don't know. I think he's up to it. I mean, it's not like they gave it to him 30, 35 times. I mean, he had 20 carries in the first game. He had 24 in the second game. When Dominique comes back, is he going to get the carries that Green got? Is he going to get the carries that DeBinion's getting? Are they going to keep Rocket at 20, 24? I'm inclined to think it probably goes down to 15 to 18. But I know Sam Pittman feels like he's durable. He's been pretty emphatic on that he thinks he can handle the load. And, you're trying to win the game. You're trying to win that Saturday. And you do what you have to do to win that Saturday. And they're going to get Dominique back, and I think they're okay at that spot. You got to be deep, but I think they've got some depth there. I think you run the hot hand until you can't run him anymore.
I think Rocket's been great through 2 weeks. Back-to-back 100-plus yard performances. He's stiff-arming people.
I hear what Woods is saying. And he's not off base. I just think that Rocket is I think Rocket can handle 15 to 20, maybe even 22 carries a game.
He's your best weapon outside of KJ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hey, guys, you've heard me talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, and I talk about their professionalism, and they certainly are, but, they're also great negotiators. And when you look at the market right now, and if you're trying to sell a home, trying to buy a home, it's not maybe as simple as it once was. Well, I'm going to set the price here. Okay, I'm going to offer about $4,000 less. I mean, you hear stories all the time about, gosh, I put my house on the market. I got 5 offers above list. Or if you're a buyer, it's like, well, I made a great offer, and then somebody outbid me. And you got to understand the art of negotiation, and that's what real estate professionals understand. And that's what they understand at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. That's important because you want to get as much as you can. If you're selling, if you're buying, you don't want to pay any more than you have to, but you do want to get into that house. And so you can turn it over to them. They'll get you from contract to close. They'll negotiate. They'll get you from contract to close. If you're selling, they'll get you your money. If you're buying, they'll give you the key to your dream home. So look for their yellow signs around town. You see them all over the place. They've got offices in Fayetteville and Springdale. They're in Bentonville. They're in Fort Smith. Real estate pros, full-time professionals. WeichertGriffin.com.
You mentioned Sam Pittman nuggets in our Hog update. He also gave a nugget that really stood out to me in the postgame press conference.
It's a line of scrimmage game in this league, and it depends on if you want to make it that or not. We do. We want to make it a line of scrimmage game, and it feels good, to be honest with you. I think everybody in the stadium felt good on the first 3 possessions.
Chuck, I know you really harped on that in the Give Me the Hogs Chuck podcast, episode 5 that came out this morning.
Well, I mean, I've harped on it every time I harp on it every time I talk about football. I mean, that's the whole deal. You better be good up front or you don't have a chance. And the story in that, in terms of Dalton Wagner talked about it after the game, is they challenged him on Monday. First thing Pittman said on the pregame was, we've challenged our line of scrimmage guys. We've challenged both sides this week. And then Wagner in the postgame said, it was Monday, I guess. Pittman came in, and, I mean, he just, he laid the wood and set the challenge. And so, that's how you win games.
Yeah. Well, it showed up in third down conversions. You just look at Arkansas, 9 of 16. But I want to point out these first 3 drives that, you get off to 3 touchdowns in a row. Arkansas had 12 drives, and it's really 11 because that last one counts as a drive, but it was 6 seconds to go after Arkansas got the ball back on replays. Really, 11 drives in the game. Arkansas scores 6 times. Their first 3 drives, 13 plays, 63 yards, almost 5:40 off the clock. 12 plays, 75 yards, over 4 minutes off the clock. Nearly 5 minutes on a 12-play, 61-yard drive. Chuck, those are devastating to the opponent because how are we going to stop these guys? We can't get the ball away from them. They're just smashing us in the head. I mean, those are the kind of drives that, while they're not exciting with a 40 or 50-yard pass, you're just imposing your will from the get-go on South Carolina, and they could do nothing to turn it away.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of again depends on how you define fast start. Sometimes it's on the second play from scrimmage, you throw off play action, hit a deep ball, crowd goes crazy, 2-play drive, you're up 7-0. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. But I think what we've seen Arkansas do is, on their first possession against Cincinnati and right off the bat against Cincinnati, and certainly this past Saturday, they took control at the line of scrimmage. And I've always believed that, if your first couple of possessions you control the line of scrimmage, you're going to control it all day.
It's a Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell at Wheels. Get by Wheels RV for that lifetime warranty. 5 miles west of exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Continuing to react to this Arkansas win over South Carolina coming up. KJ Jefferson through 2 games has looked really, really good. Man, you're glad you got Drew Sanders, talking about Rocket Sanders and his performance. More coming up next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts!
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for governor.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I think Kendall Briles does an all-world job at putting KJ in position to make the throws that he can make. But the reason all that works is because we run the ball.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush, continuing to react to Arkansas's 44-30 victory. 2-0, inside the top 10 where they belong. Still a lot of takeaways to get to, and we'll do that in just a sec.
You know, there's going to be guys in the office this morning got a smile ear to ear because they hit some games yesterday in the NFL, and there's going to be some guys with their head down hoping for a better week 2 with the NFL when it comes to the bets they made. That's why you need BetUS. You're looking for some action this year, the 28th year in a row. BetUS has been back for the NFL. They'll give you a 200% sign-up bonus right now. It's your opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues. We've mentioned all the NFL action and the Cowboys and the Chiefs from the weekend. You've got Major League Baseball about to hit its stride when it comes to the postseason and watching that. So everything's there, including college football as well. Use the promo code ESPN Arkansas and get a 200% sign-up bonus right now. That's ESPN Arkansas. There's 2 ways to sign up. You can call 800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. Or go to betus.com and join today and use that code ESPN Arkansas. Get up to a 200% bonus on your first deposit. That's betus.com or 800-79-BET-US. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Drew Sanders didn't say much in the post-game press conference, but his teammates, Latavius Brini and Simeon Blair, they were happy to talk about him.
We've been harping on Drew ever since he got here. We love him. He's a hard worker. He's not going to say much, but he's going to always do what he's supposed to do. We're finally getting him to open up a little bit more. But, yeah, he's definitely a playmaker. He does his job. We know if we send him on the blitz, he's probably 9 times out of 10 going to get the sack. If not, he's going to pressure the quarterback. So I feel like Drew's just a great player, and we love to have him around.
Man, Drew had a great game today. Definitely. I look up, I see Drew making the play every time. I turned to somebody, I said, "That's Drew? That's Drew making that play?" They were like, "Yeah, that's Drew."
Chuck, when's the last time you've had a linebacker with this foot speed?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but he's certainly got foot speed. I mean, he can do it. I mean, he's a great player. We saw him all over the place running. I don't know that Arkansas has had one in a while that runs like that, but I mean, he's good players run as fast as they have to run, and he's a good player, and so he'll make the play.
I remember when Sam Aljabutu in 2006, came over and knocked John Parker Wilson into the sidelines. It was a legal hit. He wasn't out of bounds. But that was a time where I was like, man, that guy is fast. And Drew Sanders, he just looks like every time he goes to make a tackle, Tommy, he's shot out of a cannon. That's what you said earlier.
Well, you don't feel like you have no one that can contain the edge, and there's not an angle that he doesn't seem to be able to pursue the opponent on and get there. And that's the thing is he'll keep a guy and force an opponent, Chuck, to take an angle they don't want to take because of his speed.
Yeah, I mean, he's just he's got a nose for the ball. He can get to his spot in a hurry. He pursues well. I mean, he's a great football player. And the thing that they're doing with him here is a little bit different than what they did at Alabama. He was more of an outside guy, more of an edge guy at Alabama, and he's playing within the box. And Sam Pittman talked about this some on his TV show, and we talked with Drew a little bit about this on the TV show about how there are some principles that are different when you play in the box the way he is now, but. He's just one of those guys. I mean, if you wanted him to be a tight end on the other side, he'd probably be the best one in the conference. Guys like that, you just finally figure out maybe the best position for them, but they're going to be really good wherever you put them. And I like the position where he is right now. He's a big kid, 6'5". I mean, he can run like the wind and got a nose for the ball and just understands football. I mean, he's got a great football IQ. That's readily apparent.
So the backstory on Drew, he was committed to Oklahoma for quite some time. They wanted him to play tight end. Then Alabama comes in, as they often do, and persuade a young man, a young 5-star. He goes to Bama, and I mean, you just saw. I mean, I remember watching him. He made a few plays on the Crimson Tide. It's like, who is this kid? And then you see him in the portal. You see him pick Arkansas, and I was thrilled. We talked about him all offseason long. And now we're finally get to see it on the field, and, man, he's every bit as advertised what we heard.
You know, he was a great special teams player in Alabama. In fact, he was special teams player of the game one time against us. And, you know, that tells you how good a football player I think you're going to be. A lot of times when you're on a great team, the only place you can crack the lineups on special teams. Well, if you're a great special teams player, before you've played out in, you know, on defense and taken a lot of snaps in this case at linebacker, if you show you're a great special teams player first, he's going to be a great player wherever you put him. And, you know, that goes to football IQ. That goes to all the things we talked about.
Quick note on special teams. That's something we talked a little bit about on Friday. You won that battle.
Won the battle.
I know
won the battle.
I know Cam missed that. It was I think 50 or 51 yarder, but I mean they had a shank punt. They had a bunch of things go wrong for Shane Bieber on Saturday. No block punts. Fletcher didn't get blocked or anything. You won that battle Saturday.
No question. Arkansas was the better team when it came to the third team of special teams. You know, we're talking about this crisp morning. It was 48 degrees earlier this morning in Fayetteville, and you know nothing says relaxation at the end of the day or the beginning of the day than a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. They have truckloads of hot springs hot tubs in stock, ready to deliver. Save up to $4,900 off on select hot springs hot tub models right now at Burton Pools and Spas, and easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month right now with approved credit. So if you want to, you know, relax, feel better, you know, after a workout, get your muscles feeling right, or just get your day started off right, check out the hot tub event, the truckload savings event at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, where they've been making backyard fun for 44 years. Chuck, the podcast, got another episode of the podcast and kind of your recap of the game.
Yeah, we got a big
now.
recap of the weekend. Got it out today, and I was thinking as you were talking there, is there a better situation in the fall? You're in the hot tub, the leaves are falling. I mean, that's when you say life's good. I mean, that's when you say life's good. But that's an aside there. No, we've got a big recap on the game, and I think it's pretty good. Ty put it together last night, and it's out this morning.
All right, so hitthatline.com or wherever you get your podcast. The Gimme the Hogs, Chuck. What is this, episode 5? Episode 5.
He's rolling along, man. Like we
catch up if you hadn't heard them all.
Like we thought we would. All right, more of the Morning Rush coming up next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts. Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
If less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you, so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at jodysauto.com, JODYS auto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to ashley.air.com to request service today.
With the score 17-14, Bryce takes the snap, backs up, runs out the remaining seconds of the game.
And the Mountaineers just upset the #6 team in the country, baby!
For the first time since 2007, App State has knocked off a top 10 football team. Today in College Station, the Mountaineers grabbed the attention of the college football nation again and beat the 6th-ranked Aggies 17-14. It is great to be a Mountaineer.
I've never done play-by-play or been an analyst on the show, but I know that is the cardinal sin.
Oh,
what
I'd have
that
killed
guy
him.
did.
I'd have backhanded my analyst if I was play-by-play man.
I think Chuck and Quinn and Chuck and Z have good relationships, but I think if one of those guys tried to do that after an intense game like that and interrupted Chuck, I think Chuck might throw him out the press box window.
Turn their mic off in that moment. Oh. Anyway, no one cares. I mean, the fan loves it, but that's all that matters.
Appalachian State beats Texas A&M 17-14 in College Station. Aggies hosting Miami this week, trying to bounce back after a puzzling defeat to a team that's done it before. We saw what happened in 2007 in Ann Arbor. But man, oh man, Jimbo, not a happy camper.
And after what happened in North Carolina, I almost wanted to call. I just didn't have the guts. That was crossing my mind on Friday. I just didn't have the guts to call it.
We did not pick that in our Fence Man
No,
Friday
but
picks.
I wanted to declare just throughout the show, I think App State was going to beat them straight up. No one cares about cover or not cover.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is I thought, well, you know what? They gained the confidence against NC the week before. Maybe they'll go over there and do it. And I had too much faith in A&M to not let it happen. And the thought crossed my mind, but I just didn't have the guts to pull the trigger.
A&M, fraud fan base, fraud recruiting class, fraud coach. I mean, that entire school is just filled with frauds. We played the clip earlier from their midnight yell that moron was mouthing off about Appalachian State. I mean, it's just embarrassing, the fact that you continuously try to pride yourself as a football school and you put up this trophy of Jimbo Fisher's eventual national championship, and you can't beat the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. It's a joke.
The Queen just died, right? 96 years old. Queen Elizabeth. She never saw an Aggie championship.
Nope.
96 years old. She never witnessed one.
What
makes you think we're going to ever witness one if she didn't do it in 96 years? Think about that.
It's all an Arkansas one. Some other SEC games from this week, and we were just talking about Texas narrowly losing to Alabama in a really good game. Missouri got slaughtered by Kansas State. Vanderbilt got beat by Wake Forest. Tennessee went to Pittsburgh in a thrilling game that ended in overtime. Tennessee, Hendon Hooker and company won that one. Georgia did not look that good against Samford. By the way, Samford has one of the most beautiful college campuses out there. It's incredible if you ever get a chance to go down in that neck of the woods.
Was that 33-3 or
yeah,
something?
33-0.
Yeah,
so.
Kirby just crushed his team in the post-game sideline interview, and listen, they'll get that fixed. They were reading the name on the front of the jersey.
They got South Carolina and Columbia next week, so we'll see what Shane Beamer and company has in store for Georgia. Kentucky beats Florida. Anthony Richardson did not look good. Ole Miss crushed UCA 59-3. They did not withstand much resistance from the Bears. Auburn barely beat San Jose State 24-16. LSU crushed Southern. Then Mississippi State beat Arizona 39-17. There's a couple of games, Tommy, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened. I didn't watch a lot of them.
The late games, there just wasn't much to choose from, and I didn't stay up all the way to the end of that Mississippi State game. But we'll have our Morning Rush SEC rankings coming up tomorrow in the 7 a.m. hour. So we'll rank them 1 through 14 tomorrow for you.
What do you think that Arkansas, with A&M losing, then Kentucky beating Florida, we'll get the game time announcement probably about 11:30 or 12 during halftime later on today, so make sure you tune into that. And I say the game time announcement for Texas A&M in 2 weeks. We know Missouri State is 6 o'clock in Fayetteville. Is it 2:30? They put you at 11 again, or they put you at 6?
I think you're at 2:30 or 6. Now, that's conventional thinking. This 11 a.m. time slot, we got to get used to playing there. Chuck touched on this in episode 4 of his podcast. We think means you're relegated to some bad deal. They're going to put better games there. So just because you play at 11 doesn't mean you're a bad football team. But I think Arkansas will play Texas A&M at either 6 or 2:30.
That's going to do it for your SEC update. It's brought to you by Ashley Air.
Hey, when you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a drain clean for $129. With a 2-year parts and labor warranty, some restrictions apply. Clogged drains, leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
All right, Sterling and Center Ridge, what are your thoughts on the game from on Saturday, man?
Oh, I thought it was great. It was a great game, great complimentary football. It seemed like every time the defense get a turnover, the offense catches in for 7. The had injuries in the secondary. The D-line steps it up and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, namely Sanders and Bull. Sacked the quarterback. It was a great game all around. And Tommy said something last week that I loved. I didn't have a chance to comment on it for a second, but when they run the no huddle, I love the hurry up and wait offense. I'm not a big fan of hurrying up and just snapping the ball real fast and going 3 and out so fast that your defense got to go right back on the field. Especially if you got them on their heels, all you're trying to do is make them not substitute. You're not necessarily trying to run them in the ground or just make them tired because you get tired too.
Yeah.
You also got linemen running up and down the field as well. So
yeah, Orlovsky, Sterling Orlovsky mentioned that several times with Dalton Wagner that he had, what did he say? He had a love-hate relationship with the up tempo and the hurry up no huddle. I mean, a guy like Dalton Wagner is going to wear thin the faster you go, buddy.
Yeah, so I love to hurry up and wait instead of just the hurry up. So I love that, and the team just played a solid ball game. Even though it was a one-score game, I felt like they got this stat called game control, and I think Arkansas was in control of the game for most of the time, just like they were the previous week. And that's how I felt about the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa last year. I know everybody said we lost by 7, but I felt like Alabama was in control of that game. And speaking of Alabama, I think that was a bad game. I don't necessarily think that that's something that we're going to see Bama do at the most one more time if they do it again. So, I don't want us to start licking our lips about Bama. Even A&M, Chuck said earlier, one game don't necessarily mean it's going to happen the next game. So, but I feel good, and I feel good. I still think Bama is in a higher weight class than us, but any given Saturday, you get 75,000, 80,000. If anybody got an extra ticket, call Sterling. I can find a place for it. I know some people that got deep pockets, so don't forget about me. Just say it on this show or any other shows on Arkansas ESPN, and old Sterling Center is get in contact with you. But guys, it's a great time of year. It's nice to be in the top 10, and the main thing this week, let's get through it healthy. Let's just win by about 30 or 40 and get through it healthy. And Tommy, I give you credit for saying one thing right, but I'll tell you one thing you got wrong.
What's that?
We do care about who covers the spread, my friend. We do care about who covers the spread. Yeah. Y'all have a great day.
I appreciate it, Sterling.
And that's the truth.
Sterling, so they are now 2-0 this season on covering the spread. I think Sam Pittman has now had 17 wins against the spread. I think he was like 15-6. I remember Marler talking about that at SEC Media Days. But Coach Pittman not only does he win football games, he beats the spread a lot of time too. So a lot of you guys like to happy hedge the Hogs, where you are cheering for the Hogs to win, but sometimes you bet against their spread. Well, in this case, if you bet with the Hogs and they're winning, it's double the fun. So Arkansas has won you some money if you bet on them early this season, and that could be the rest of the way. What's the spread when we get it from A&M? I got to look and see what the Missouri State one is, but what's the spread
I'm not sure how much of a line you're going to get on an FCS game, so it probably only come from the offshores, but the A&M game, I don't know. That's hard to say until you got another week. I mean, what you would have said last week about the spread for an A&M game is much different than this week because of the App State. And then you got them playing Miami. I mean, boy, the last thing you really probably want, or conventional thinking says the last thing you want is A&M to roll into that game on a 2-game skid. But that might be. I mean, they're playing a good Miami team this week. So if you had to pin me down right now, I would say Arkansas would be favored by 4.5 or 5, something like that, today in that A&M game.
Over Texas A&M?
Yes, Arkansas would be the favorite.
Okay. I'm trying to – I don't think, as you
neutral
just said.
side. I mean, it's not going to be out yet. But now the Missouri State game, that FCS, you might see some lines from offshores or whatever. It might guess 30-some-odd points. But, I mean – you see a lot of these FCS-type opponents that are 40-something point lines. I think Missouri State's a little better. They're what's ranked in the top 10 of FCS. Take that for what it's worth. This is a better FCS program, but it's still a FCS program. I think Arkansas should win this game by 4 to 5 touchdowns, but we've got plenty of evidence so far this year that you don't take anybody lightly or you're going to end up licking your wounds.
Yeah. We've shared a lot of positive sentiment this morning, and deservedly so. Arkansas, again, 2-0, 1-0 in conference play, offensively and defensively. There's segments that looked really, really good on Saturday. Where I am looking at one theme through 2 games. They've got to clean up the penalties. 3 hands to the face on Saturday. You're 126th out of 131 teams in penalties. Yeah, you've got to figure that out through 2 weeks. It's way too many. Other thing is, and we haven't discussed this yet this morning, what's the deal with Trey Knox? Trey Knox, fourth quarter
he left
injury.
Sideline, yeah.
I don't know if we'll get an update from Sam Pittman on that today or later on Wednesday, but as good as Trey played in Game 1, didn't have as much of an impact in Game 2. What's his status going to be, not just for Saturday, but in the coming games as well?
And injuries are that's the overriding theme so far this year for Arkansas. I mean, they're 2-0, but I mean, 2 key injuries on defense. Catalan gone for the year, maybe a career-ending injury. We just don't know on that yet. Reconstructive shoulder surgery. Just your heart aches for him. But, yeah, I mean, injuries. Johnson on offense at running back. You can go through too long of a list of guys that have missed games completely or missed the season already or are going to miss the entire season. It's really kind of been the underlying theme for this season.
You mentioned Dominique Johnson. I don't know about you listening to the program. I was really surprised we didn't see him at any point.
Yeah, I think it was a game-time decision. I think maybe the decision was more his. I like the fact that you won without him. You didn't need him to win. That's not the story, but that's less tape you've got out there on him for this year. So I don't know how much you really use him this week. I'd rather keep him fresh and get him 1,000% healthy for that A&M game and then show him something that nobody's seen yet before with him, and just makes it a little harder to prepare. But I'm sure he's ready to play, and he'll get a handful of carries this week would be my guess.
Rockets look good through the first 2 games, and not just good. You think about going 100-plus in these performances. Love what we've seen from Raheem Rocket Sanders. Won't say much in the post-game press conference. First thing he always does, back-to-back games. I just want to give a shout-out to KJM offensive line. You love seeing that from a running back, giving credit to his teammates. Good show. Appreciate Chuck Barrett. Appreciate Drew Barrett, Tommy Kraft, and myself, Ty Richardson. It's been a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV. We'll get it rolling tomorrow on a Tuesday. Talk to you then.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more